Thomas Paine, Sam Adams, Benjamin Franklin. These men spoke up for what they thought was right. From their courage came such documents as the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution of the United States. From their willingness to speak what was sometimes unpopular but right, we enjoy such liberties as freedom of speech, the right to keep and bear arms, and freedom of religion. There are those who still wish to oppress our freedoms, and there are still patriots willing to stand up and defend life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Men like Zeb Bell, who honor our founding fathers and what they stood for. It's now time for Zeb at the Ranch, speaking up and defending your freedoms. Brought to you by Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers and all of the other great advertisers on the program. And now, Zeb Bell.
Former President of the United States, Dwight D. Eisenhower, said it best. May the turbulence of our age yield to a true time of peace, when men and nations shall share a life that honors the dignity of each, the brotherhood of all. Good morning, everybody. Here comes Kate Smith and God Bless America, followed by a patriot with our Pledge of Allegiance on a Thursday. Morning. Thank you very much. And that, of course, Kate Smith. And God bless America. Good morning, everybody. I'm Zeb Bell, Zeb at the Ranch. And, of course, our program sponsored by our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations serving you. And, of course, some of our great advertisers that include Lee's Furniture, Floors, and More at 459 Overland in Burley. And our friends at Ramsey Heating and Electric at 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley. I'm going to ask Gina a favor. Gina, are all the dial settings, knobs, switches, and everything set the same? It sounds really fuzzy over here, and it's been really clear the last week.
Everything's the same.
Okay. How are you?
I am well. I am tired, and I'm very much looking forward to the weekend.
Oh, man. I can relate to that. I've got errands I have to run up in Boise tomorrow, but other than that, the weekend is mine, and I will not give it up.
And you should not.
I will not, and I hope you have a very pleasant day. Wonder Woman.
Which, by the way, I did bring my costume.
I knew you would. Do we have a pledger?
We have Rotten on for the pledge and Mr. Michael Rogers on for the weather.
Very well done. All right, Rotten, the Pledge of Allegiance, please. Go ahead.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I hope you're going to be at Lunch Bunch.
We intend to be there.
All right. God bless you, sir. Thank you so much.
Costumes and all.
Boy, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Right now, time for the weather, and the weather is brought to you by Cheney Flooring and Home Design, 1228 Oakley Avenue in Burley. Look for the blue door, and don't forget they've got all the, it's still time if you want to decorate for Halloween. Yeah, today's the day before. They got Halloween and Christmas decorations, and by the way, too, don't forget they will meet or beat any price on flooring right there at Cheney Flooring and Home Design, 1228 Oakley Avenue in Burley, 678-6945. Here now, Michael Rogers weather.
Okay, let's do it. We've got snow in the forecast. Let's get you squared away for the weekend. Now, for the day tonight and tomorrow, it's going to be nice. Mostly sunny, and temperatures are going to be in the upper 60s, and everything is going to be fine. Partly cloudy for Friday night, and then Saturday you're going to walk into something you haven't seen in quite a while, but you get used to it. It's called rain showers turning into snow showers, turning back into rain showers. And the bottom line with the first snow in the Magic Valley of South Central Idaho is this. An example. You're going to Boise over the weekend. If you plan on coming back Saturday night, there's a stretch between Mountain Home and Burley where the roads get really slick. The second stretch is from Burley down to the split of Interstate 84 and going into I-15 and Interstate 86. If you get that little bit of snow, which sounds like nothing when you got a mixture of rain and snow shower, don't play with this thing. It's the first snow things could be slick, and a lot of accidents take place on the first snow, and you don't need a lot on the ground to have an accident. So, in your forecast going into the weekend, the possibility of snow showers should exist. When it's over said and done, it should be less than an inch on the ground, and then it'll just taper off and melt off, and we'll repeat the whole pattern all the way through the rest of the winter, going up into spring, because that's the way the weather goes throughout the Magic Valley when it comes to snow. Starts out as rain, turns into snow, turns back into rain, gets cold, roads get slick. Other than that, have yourself a great weekend and enjoy the weather. It's the only weather you got.
Very, very well done, MichaelRogersWeather.com. Brought to you by Cheney Flooring and Home Design, 1228 Oakley Avenue in Burley. Look for their blue doors, 678-6945. Holy smokes, let's sell some cattle. Merv May, come on in here.
Your calves are here to get all the 31, 31, going out, 32.
Oh, today is the big day at the Burley Livestock Sale Yard, 1100 Occidental Avenue in Burley. Number to call the office, 678-9411. And believe me, Merv May, Cade Rogge, and don't forget Lance Udy. They're all there. This is the sale that works for you. So here's some of the lineup that we've got today. Greg Barkdale of Coldwater area is bringing in 100 head of really good black calves. Ken Horsch over at Albion. Hello, Ken. 46 cows, preg tested, ready to go. Byron Pearson, haven't seen him for a long time. Good old boy up at Darlington, semi-load of Holstein steers. Dick Simpson up at Cary, my goodness, he's alive and well. 120 head of calves coming down. Moo View Dairy, 35 head of Holstein steers. Mike Polton over to Oakley. Hello, Mike, 40 head of butcher cows coming in. Lauren Durfee up at Elmo, 80 head of calves. J2 Brown, cowboy buckaroo out of Richfield, bringing down some calves. Clay Blanthorne over to Grouse Creek, 40 head of calves. And Antelope Hills Dairy out of Burley, 25 head of cows. 10 o'clock starting time at the Burley Livestock Sale Yard, 1100 Occidental Avenue in Burley, 678-9411. Merv, sell those steers.
All right, you get set of steer calves here to get all the 31, 1.5, 31, 1.5, 32, 2.5, 3.5, 134, 4.5, 5.5, 135, 50, 135, $7.35. Zeb Bell gets bottom again.
Oh, my goodness. Hey, I want to tell you a little bit about Senator Dean Cameron running unopposed for Senate District 27. A voice of influence, a voice of caring. This man really gets the job done, and he wants to express his appreciation of the citizens of Minidoka and Cassia County and say thank you for all your support. And also, he urges you to go vote next Tuesday, November 4th. And Dean, of course, Senate Chairman of the Budget Committee, senior member on the Resources Committee, urges you to vote yes for HJR2. That's right, HJR2. And believe me, the constitutional amendment, vote yes next Tuesday, paid for by Senator Dean Cameron, District 27. Did you ever have one of those 30-second or so lapses where everything that came out of your mouth was all garbled? And I apologize for that. Everything was just rolling. Hey, Gano Landscaping and Sprinkler Service, 336-450 West of Paul, 438-2485. You need your trees pruned? We'll call them, 438-2485. Need stumps dug out of the ground? 438-2485. Need your sprinkler system blown out before it freezes? 438-2485. Gano Landscaping and Sprinkler Service. You give them a call right now. A lot of things going on. And some birthdays I want to mention. Samuel Perkins is having a birthday today. Sam, God bless you, man. Happy birthday. Hope it's the best ever. And I also want to remind everybody that we're going to be over at our dear friends later on. I just got done saying happy birthday to Samuel Perkins. And I want to remind everybody that today is Lunch Bunch Day. And we're going to be at Denny's Restaurant, 611 Overland in Burley at 11:30 for Lunch Bunch. And today is the Halloween party. And if you have a best mask or a best costume, you will win a special prize. And we want to say thanks to Walmart, Hanson Mortuary, Smith's, and Denny's for all their support. They have been so good to us. Today at 11:30, it is Lunch Bunch Day at Denny's Restaurant. Don't you miss it. All right, give us a call. 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. I want to get this out of the way real quick, and I mean this. You know from listening to this program that I am an absolute avid baseball fan. Some people might disagree, and they don't like baseball, they don't like sports, whatever. Listen, I just want to say that the World Series, I've watched it every year since I was a little bitty baby. Well, I think this was the best World Series I've ever seen. I have not seen as good a pitching. I have not seen as good a hitting and fielding. It was an excellent, excellent World Series. I was kind of hoping the Royals would pull it out, but the Giants deserved it, winning 3-2 last night over the Royals, and it was outstanding. So kudos to the San Francisco Giants. They are now the world champions again. Calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. I'm going to ask Gina if she'd help me out just for a moment. May I please have Lieutenant Governor Brad Little and HJR2, if you would, please.
Hi, I'm Brad Little, and I'm running for Lieutenant Governor. Idahoans are some of the most innovative and hardest-working people in the world. Let's help all Idahoans be job choosers, not job takers, for a better future.
Idaho is one of the best states to do business. With a strong system of education, we can attract more jobs in both traditional industries and new fields like health, energy, manufacturing, and technology.
I'm Brad Little. Let's work together to build strong families, strong career choices, and a strong Idaho.
Hey, Little for Idaho, Tom Johnston, Treasurer.
Vote yes November 4th for HJR2, a constitutional amendment to keep the power of Idaho governance with the people. Vote yes on HJR2 to limit executive power over you and your business. Vote yes on HJR2 to keep your legislators working for your needs, not special interest groups. Vote yes on HJR2 to preserve the voice of we the people for the state of Idaho. Vote yes on HJR2. Paid for by Representative Fred Wood, House Speaker Scott Bedke, and Senator Dean Cameron. Vote yes on HJR2.
Did you happen to hear what happened yesterday with a so-called White House source? Well, this is really repulsive. Pardon me. It's not Republic. It's not Republican. It's repulsive. A senior White House aide. Now, nobody is naming who this person is and or was, and some people have even guesstimated that it might have been Obama himself. Now, I'm not making this up. It was on the news this morning. But supposedly a senior White House aide is said to have called Israel's Benjamin Netanyahu a chicken. I'm going to let it go at that. Yeah. And they went on to elaborate and said that because he and Israel would not bomb Iran, that they were cowards. Now, I don't know who said this, and there was no perseverance to go after. From the news media yesterday, there was only one person that really jumped on Josh Earnest at the press conferences and said, hey, who said this? And that was Ed Henry from Fox News. But whoever said this absolutely should apologize, because this is our best ally. And when you think about it, folksies, who told Israel and who told Netanyahu about 3 to 4 months ago, back off and do not even contemplate plans to go over and bomb Iran? Remember that? It was us. And so this might not sound like a lot to you, but it does to me, because Israel's our ally. Israel is our friend. Israel depends on us, we depend on them. And for some quote-unquote senior White House aide to have stood in the background and said Benjamin Netanyahu is a chicken, that can't happen. And it's got to be found out who did it. And I think this is going to be a bigger story than what we think it is. It's a bigger story than somebody just not liking somebody else. It's a bigger story of somebody not just calling someone a name. It's a bigger story of some of the internal feelings, evidently, of the Obama administration. And as you well know, Obama has had his open microphone moments. many, many times, as has John Kerry and others, and especially blumbering Joe Biden. But this one here is a little testy. Calling your best ally a coward, and also an ally that has jumped in and really pounded the bad guys over the years. What are your thoughts on this? Give me a call at 436-2244. While I'm waiting for your call that I know is coming in, I want to also mention to you, go over to Valley White Home and Ranch, 910 South Oneida in Rupert, and find the Golden Pumpkin Giveaway, and you'll get a $25 gift card. Yes, you will. And they've got more than one over there, I'll tell you that. You better check it out while you're in there shopping for all your winter needs, heaters and heat tape and propane heaters and propane and winter gloves and area boots. Holy cow, they're ready for winter at Valley White Home and Ranch. And check out the Golden Pumpkin Giveaways at Valley White Home and Ranch, 910 South Oneida in Rupert. Caller, I'll be right there. I'll stand by. Ramsey Heating and Electric. I also want to remind you about those good folks. Absolutely. They're located at 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley, and if you haven't had your furnace serviced, call them up right now and say, hello, it's cold in my house. I forgot to get my furnace serviced, and I think it needs a new air filter too. Well, they'll help you. Ramsey Heating and Electric, 678-0459 at 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley, where they provide warm winters and cool summers. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Yeah, what makes me so damn mad is Israel comes over here. They always backed us 100%. And then to have Joe Biden, the so-called vice president, and our so-called Secretary of State, Kerry, ignore and snub him, the ambassador to the Netanyahu and them, to me, that is the lowest form of damn human I've ever seen, and they should be kicked out of this office.
Yeah, but wait a minute, Al, go right to the top. Obama himself is also very, very guilty of some of the slights that have been performed against Israel and Benjamin Netanyahu.
Well, to get the big man to topple, you got to knock off two of the stool's legs.
Well, I agree with that, but you know, I just don't understand. Now, somebody out there in the liberal left persuasion yesterday said, "Oh, don't make a big deal out of it. We talk about everybody, and we curse sometimes, and we say negative things about our allies, but we love each other." You've heard that on the news already, I know. Al, this is something that should be checked on, because if you'll remember, and I know you do because you know the news, that when they started going after some of the investigative reporters, remember that, like James Rosen with Fox News and other people, the government demanded that they reveal their sources. Okay, isn't what's good for the gander good now for us to find out who the source was?
Not as long as it pertains to a liberal, it don't count.
Yeah, I agree.
Nothing goes to what they're supposed to do. It's what we're supposed to knuckle down and do.
This is serious, because what it shows, and I want to ask you your opinion on this, we have shown weakness to the rest of the world for a long, long time, and that's why I had that quote from Dwight D. Eisenhower to open the program this morning. But we have shown weakness to the world, and we basically have bowed and kowtowed to the rest of the world for so long, and now we need allies, and we're not getting the response and the support that we used to have because they don't respect us anymore. How can they respect us when we've got some nincompoop calling them chicken whatever?
Until we get rid of this administration, we're going to have less and less support from all the other countries, because they know now we've got a weak president, we've got a weak society, and they say, well, we'll just sit back here a few more days, and then we're going to whack them. And when they whack us this time, it's going to hurt, and it's going to hurt bad.
I agree with you, Al. Thank you so much for your call, as always. Caller, I'll be there. Thank you, sir. Caller, I'll be right there. Do not go away. Snyder Surplus isn't just army and hunting supplies. No, they've got all kinds of furniture. I got to get over there and get my new desk chair. Holy smokes, mine is a walking wounded wreck. And they've got filing cabinets, and they've got wool blankets, and they got all the bunk beds, and they've got combat boots, and everything. Man, I don't know how they keep up on their inventory. It's Snyder Surplus, brand new, brand spanking new store. more, and brand spanking new merchandise at 112 South 200 West of Rupert, Snyder's Surplus. You get over there and see those great folks today. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning. Well, it's not surprising because the Obama administration has done everything it can to support Islam, and we've armed the enemies that we're now supposedly opposing, and Obama himself has basically come out and said that his allegiance, his whole background, his whole education has been in Islam theology. So it's no big surprise.
Yeah, but wait a minute, Adrian. It is a surprise to many people that never thought, and you're one of them, I know you are. We never really anticipated that we would delve down into the depths of being this low, this repulsive, this classless as this administration has taken us.
Well, I'm sorry, but knowing the background of this guy before he was elected, it's no surprise to me and many of my constitutional conservative friends. We could see this happening. They're becoming more outspoken about what they really believe.
And I will agree with that. I will agree with that, Adrian, because if you'll recall, and I got a break coming up here, but I want to get you to respond to this. But when you recall back before Obama was elected the first time, look at the headaches and the hassles and the problems that the liberal left and the Democrats caused me by coming after me and calling me racist and everything. Remember that? They sicked all the press on me and all the TV and everything, and they sat back smugly and they thought, we'll get him off the air. Well, it didn't work. And everything I had said and worried about Obama doing and being is coming to fruition, and you know that's true.
Absolutely, and a lot of my liberal friends, have come around and say, unfortunately, you've been right on these issues, and you have too, for speaking the truth. When you study the truth out, or, look at all the issues, and you study history, and then you look at the background of this guy. I mean, he was educated in Indonesia. His background was Islamic theology. So, I mean, he's a product of his environment, and so he's just wanting to implement Sharia law in this country.
Absolutely.
And around the world.
I got a break coming up right now, Adrian. God bless you, man. I appreciate it.
Just on a humorous note, you've got to Google, folks, Sharia Halloween, and you'll see there's 6 different costumes for celebrating Sharia Halloween. Okay. And one of them's already sold out, so hurry and get yours.
I'll look it up.
Folks, it's hilarious.
All right.
Okay?
Thank you so much, Adrian. I appreciate it. God bless you. Hey, real quick, I want to remind you, for all your fall projects with your rental equipment needs, it's Barry Equipment and Rental. Oh, Eli and Nick and everybody else always having what you need. Whether you need a Coyote tractor, whether you need a Bobcat loader, whether you need a big Doosan loader, whether you need man lifts, whatever you need, they've got it to buy or rent right there at Barry Equipment and Rental. Yeah, they do. And they've got 3 locations: Addison Avenue West in Twin Falls, Highway 30 in Burley at 159, West Highway 30, and South Lincoln and Jerome. 3 locations, Barry Equipment and Rental. They are serving you. Real quick, Capital Press Ag Minute.
The Capital Press Ag Minute is brought to you by OnlyAg.com.
Amy's Kitchen, a maker of organic convenience food, will open a new food processing facility in Pocatello in December. Governor Butch Otter announced October 29th that the company will produce a 500,000 square foot facility in Pocatello, formerly operated by Heinz, and will employ 200 full-time positions initially. According to a news release by Otter's office, the company plans to ramp up employment to 1,000 over 15 years, and the economic impact to the state will include wages of $342 million and new state tax revenues of $36 million. Amy's produces more than 250 foods, including frozen entrees, meals and snacks, candy bars, cookies, canned soups, jarred salsa, and pasta sauce.
To receive instant, exclusive, unlimited access to the West Agricultural News Source, register your account today at CapitalPress.com.
At this time, before I take some more calls, and I do want your calls, because I'm going to ask you another question. Should the nurse that is in Maine that came back from West Africa and was exposed to Ebola, Should she be quarantined in her home? Or should she be allowed, as she said she's going to do this morning, walk out of the house and defy the court's order? Call me and let me know what you think about that. But I'm going to ask the lovely Gina over at our station to play the ads for Jim Risch and Ron Crane.
On Election Day, Idaho voters should choose a state treasurer with a 16-year record of success in helping improve the lives of Idahoans. Treasurer Ron Crane has nurtured and grown the tax-deductible Ideal College Savings Program, which thousands of Idaho families now use to continue their children's education. And nearly 25,000 Idaho women have gained saving and investing skills through Ron Crane's popular Smart Women, Smart Money training program. Vote Ron Crane for treasurer, experienced investing, protecting Idaho's taxpayers.
Pate Crane for Idaho State Treasurer. Mitt Romney on Jim Risch.
Jim Risch is a person who you can count on to help build jobs, to say no to the growth of government, to say no to the growth of taxes, to say yes to family values, and to stand up for the people of our nation and the state of Idaho. This is a man of integrity, honesty, and character.
Jim Risch is the person we can trust to fight for us in Washington. Jim Risch for the U.S. Senate.
I'm Jim Risch, and I approve this message.
Thank you, Jim. Oop, I goofed again. I'm always coming in on that last part of that tagline, and I apologize for that. Oh, I'm sorry. Calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. This nurse that's in the news right now, and I really want your opinion on this because I don't think what she's doing is at all appropriate. And I'm going to use that word, appropriate. It may be legal, but I don't think it's appropriate. She was in West Africa. She had worked exclusively and very closely with many Ebola patients. She has been exposed to the deadly Ebola virus. She claims not to have any symptoms yet. And she came back to the United States, and our government said, hey, wait a minute, whoa, Nurse Hickox, you better stay in your home and do not leave. We will supply the food, water, whatever you need. We'll leave it on your doorstep, but do not leave the house until the 21 days incubation period is up. Well, she said no. She said, I'm not going to be told what to do. I'm going to go wherever I please. I'm going to see whoever I please. I'm going to enjoy whatever I please. Don't bug me. Now, is this just arrogance on her part? Is this just a form of basically thumbing her nose as far as caring for anybody here in the country? Or do you agree with her that she can go anywhere she wants to and do whatever she's interested in, and the devil be darned? She'll just take her chances, and quite frankly, we'll take our chances too. What are your thoughts on that? Or should she be confined and left in her home for the 21 days, and law enforcement officers outside the door saying, get back in your house and stay there, you've still got 7 days to go? What are your thoughts on that? I lean towards the latter. Right now, with this completely amateur approach to protecting the rest of America with Ebola virus coming into this country, this Obama administration doesn't have a clue what to do or what they should have done. And right now, I think we need to err on the side of caution. And this woman absolutely should be told to stay in her house, forced to stay in her house, and until the incubation period is over. We can't afford any massive mistakes. It's a lot easier to say, oops, we're sorry, we caused you this inconvenience, than, oops, look out. 25 people that she came in contact with have the virus. What are your thoughts? Give me a call, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. While I'm waiting, I'm sorry?
I said I just want to butt in on this for just a real
Well, you just did.
I know. If she's a nurse, she should be smart enough that she needs to quarantine herself, so why is she being such an ass about it?
You know, I've sat and analyzed this, and I've looked at her personality, and I've read a lot of stories in the Wall Street Journal and also USA Today and other publications about this woman. And she has always displayed tendencies of being an individual, and you can underline that. And she's always been kind of for herself. Well, right now, I think that she's got to have a little human decency and common sense. Look at the whole card and say, my goodness, it's not that long. It's 3 weeks. I can stay here. I'll have delivery service to my home, etc. I better be careful.
Number one, when you're in the healthcare industry, you cannot be about yourself. You have to be about the patient.
That's right.
That's what it's all about. It's about compassion. Not only that, but when you're in the healthcare industry and you get sick, you should know better that you need to be quarantining yourself so you don't get those around you.
Yeah, Gina, and
so if it's the point to where she is going to be defiant of her Hippocratic oath, then pull her licensure.
Well, you know, and here's the deal. Legally, she can leave her property. There is nothing that says she has to be bound. There's the key word, morally, ethically. You can use any number of a bunch of words because, quite frankly, she was exposed to the Ebola virus. She was working with sick people that were vomiting and everything else with human excretions with Ebola. Now, wouldn't you say to yourself, you know what, I'll abide by this 21 days and I'll have my temperature taken, I'll have doctors look at me and everything, not only for my sake but my neighbors, etc., out of decency. This woman is very selfish.
Well, just everything planned out from what I'm hearing, she is violating the oath that she took when she entered into the healthcare profession. And so as somebody within the state that she's living in, I would pull her licensure.
I can't argue that.
Well, you know what? If you're going to be doing this, then you are violating the Hippocratic Oath, which you abide by within the healthcare industry. So if you are not going to abide by the moral values that you swore to, we're going to pull your licensure, and we're going to make sure that you're never going to have a job in this state again.
Well, I can't argue that. I agree with everything you said. It's just that right now, this is absolutely another cog in the wheel, and I think you'll agree with this. This is another cog in the wheel of total, absolute not being ready and prepared for this kind of a crisis.
Right, you've got a phone call.
All right, I'll take it. Gina, thank you. Caller, I'll be right with you. Don't go away. Don't forget Sophie's Chatterbox, 530 East Street on the Square in Rupert. Oh, they've got a bakery over there with wedding cakes, cookie bars, homemade bread. Love homemade bread. Get a couple of slabs of homemade bread and some strawberry jam. Look out, delicious. And cinnamon rolls. Oh, my goodness. All of this at Sophie's Chatterbox, and they're open Monday through Friday, 6 to 6, Saturdays, 6 to 2. Great, great place to eat. Sophie's Chatterbox, 530 East Street on the Square in Rupert. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning. Well, the nurse came on TV last night and said she was going to do what she wanted, and if she started showing symptoms, then she was going to do something about it.
Okay.
By that time, wouldn't a lot of other people be in trouble too?
Exposed? Absolutely. I mean, ma'am, once the signs, if you will, using your words, of a very high temperature and other aspects of Ebola are there, it's already too late. You have transferred possibly the other chances to other people, and boy, then we've got a domino effect. What basically are your thoughts about this woman? Is she selfish? Is she so arrogant that she's going to defy the rules? Do you agree with Gina that she should have her license pulled? I mean, I absolutely think they should lock her in the house.
Well, I think she's really arrogant. And I have another question for you. I have not heard this. If you get Ebola and you survive, can you get it again?
I would, okay, I'm just going to say this purely from layman's terminology and what I have read and what I've heard. I understand that the chances are slimmer because of the immunity buildup, because of the medications and the medical help and everything else. But you can, according to what I've been told, you can get it again if exposed to the certain elements. But now there again, there's the point. This government, our government, has been so lax in providing the right information to the American public and doing things so amateuristic as far as letting people in, etc. Are you worried, like I am, that this thing could turn into a full-blown disaster?
Well, the thing I can't understand is why we are still letting people into the United States from these countries that have Ebola right now. I just think that's stupid.
I agree with you, and thank you very much for your call. I appreciate that. God bless you. Have a good day. Nice lady right there. I just can't imagine, and I know a lot of people in the medical profession, a lot of people, because believe me, I spent a lot of my life being in hospitals, emergency rooms, and everything else. Of the people that I know, including my daughter-in-law, who is a very, very, very good nurse up in the Boise Valley, I can't imagine Shanna thumbing her nose at the rest of her neighbors and her community if she had been exposed to the Ebola virus and saying, I'm going out anyways. Matter of fact, here's what I'm going to try to do. I'm going to try to call her on the air next week. I think she's got a day off on Monday or Tuesday, and I'm going to try to call her and ask her feelings about what's going on with this Ebola virus. She's a very, very talented young lady as far as being a nurse, very professional, and I'll get her on the air and see what her thoughts are. Don't forget, re-elect Clark Kaufman as your District 25 representative to the legislature. Kaufman has served on the Revenue and Taxation Committee, Transportation and Defense Committee, and the Business Committee. He is honest, hardworking, and very capable. Remember to vote on next Tuesday, November 4th, and exercise your constitutional right. Vote for Clark Kaufman. Paid for by the committee to elect Clark Kaufman for Idaho State Representative for District 25, Seat B. Debbie Kaufman, Treasurer. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Yes, sir. Attitude such as this nurse has, in many ways, has put this country into the wrecked up position it's in, not only in the means of Ebola, but many other things, because people, well, I'm going to do whatever I want to do, however I want to do it, whenever I want to do it.
You know,
and I mean, it don't just apply to this; it applies to a lot of other things in our nation.
I agree with you, and you have called.
He was talking yesterday about the penny scenario.
Yes.
The start for a penny and up it every day, 30 cycles, and you're above 5 million.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that is scary.
Okay, now wait a minute. I want to go back
in that strength.
Right. Let me go back to what you started with as far as this nurse and the me syndrome. It goes into sports. It's the same way. Hey, you didn't give me the ball enough. Me. It goes into politics. It goes into everyday life. It goes into somebody complaining that they didn't get a raise like so-and-so did. It's me, even though they didn't put in the extra effort or the work to get the raise. It's permeated itself in our society so strong right now, and it's coming out, I think, with this woman, this nurse, as the poster girl of me, I'm more important than anybody else.
Agree with you totally.
I appreciate your call as always, sir. God bless you and have a wonderful weekend.
You have a very good day.
Thank you, sir. Time for the weather forecast, and the weather is brought to you by our dear friends over at Rupert, and they are Mad River Laser. Oh my, have you been in their new store, 502 East Street in Rupert? Beautiful store, and they can make anything for the promotion of your business. Sweatshirts, caps, t-shirts, business cards. They've got jackets from Carhartt that they can put your logo on. Ooh, I tell you what, I just drool every time I go in there, all the goodies. They are really something at Mad River Laser, 502 East Street in Rupert. Here now, Michael Rogers weather.
Yeah, hello everyone, Michael Rogers of the ranch. Today's going to be a lot better than yesterday. Tonight's going to be a lot better than last night. Tomorrow's going to be better than today. When it comes to the weather, that is. Sunny today, partly cloudy tonight, sunny tomorrow. 68 for the high for both days. Overnight lows will be in the 40s. I'm going to just do this real quick here because I've been keeping tabs on it, and it's been back and forth for about the last day and a half. I'm calling for snow on Saturday night going into Sunday. Yes, I am. We'll start out as rain, turn into snow, and then it'll warm back up into rain going into Sunday. So look for your temperatures to support both of those. So there is the entire weekend forecast. Enjoy the weather, still the weather you got.
Thank you, Michael. And, of course, again, I want to remind you, Mad River Laser. Man, she made me some custom-made, the little wood business cards. Oh, they are dynamite. You got to stop over and see her, Nicole, at Mad River Laser, 502 East Street in Rupert, bringing you Michael Rogers weather. Well, I'm waiting for your calls that I know are coming in. Let's see. Gina, would you please play a good word for Representative Steve Hartkin?
From City of Rocks to the Twin Falls County Fair, this Magic Valley of ours offers tremendous opportunity for Idaho citizens, but we have to work to keep it that way. Low taxes, limited government, responsible financial management. I'm Stephen Hartkin, Idaho House Republican, and I'm proud to represent your Idaho Republican values. I'm running for re-election this fall and ask for your vote on November 4th. I'm House Republican Stephen Hartkin, and I approve this message.
All right, thank you, Steve. Good luck to you. And calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Good morning, caller.
Yeah, how you doing this morning?
I'm fantastic. What can I do for you?
You know, I have kind of mixed feelings about all this because my wife's a nurse.
Okay.
You know, and I don't, you know, number one, I have a professional license, you know, and something else, and she does too, but starting pulling people's license for whatever reason when they didn't, just because they are doing something you don't like and maybe against their oath, you got to be careful with that because where does that end?
Okay, now just let me.
I have a problem with that.
I understand, and I'm not at all chastising you for your opinion. So don't get upset and hang up. I just want to ask you a couple of questions.
I'm not upset.
Yeah, let me just ask you this: under certain circumstances, and in most circumstances, I would agree with you 100% that is way too far out in left field. However, my response is in agreement with this because, number one, the Ebola virus is deadly. Number two, it has killed thousands and thousands of people. Number three, it has just recently come to our shores and we are totally unprepared and inept how to fight it. Number four, medical people, even with the CDC, are just wringing their hands and gnashing their teeth trying to figure out what to do or what not to do. So, all that being said, under these circumstances, I personally think that we need to be as harsh as necessary and as absolutely secure as possible to make sure it doesn't spread.
Okay, now let me ask you another question, okay? Inside of this country, it's a virus. Ebola is a virus.
Yes, sir.
You can't catch a virus at another time. Now, inside this country right now, we have a virus that is as deadly and kills more people in this country than I think Ebola ever will, which is the flu. Yet, a lot of people don't get their flu shots, and when they don't get their flu shots, they sneeze on somebody, which is airborne, which Ebola is not. So should we force people to have their flu shots? And if they don't, should we lock them up?
Okay.
There's people, thousands of people die every year in this country. So my problem, I'm going to say this, and then I'll just, hang up and I'll listen. But the problem is I've had a problem with Ebola being blown clear out of proportion. Because number one, you can't catch it by airborne. Number two, nobody in this country that's had it so far has died. They are able to control it, except for the gentleman who came who didn't get treatment quick enough. He was the only one. Everyone else has gotten treatment. And so, I've had a real problem with the press and this all becoming a pandemic when it, in my mind, it's not.
All right, stay on the air. Stay on the air just for a second, sir. Just for a second, please, because you bring up some excellent points of interest. As you know, I had polio as a little boy. And I get really upset to the point of being just downright mad when I see parents that do not immunize their children. And they use stupid, frivolous excuses saying in many cases, well, polio's gone, I don't have to immunize anymore. Well, that's not true. Polio is making a big comeback from the Asian countries and also from the Middle Eastern countries, India, etc., and coming back into this country and possibly being brought by illegal aliens across our southern border. And I get furious with people and parents that don't have a clue. I think that should be child abuse. I'll say it, and I've said it before. I think if you don't immunize your kids for these things such as polio, etc., you should be arrested for child abuse. Now, do you think I'm as radical as what's happening with that nurse?
I don't know. I think, I get my flu shot. So I don't want to have flu, but I think just that's the problem. We're having to be cautious. Now, I'm not in favor of this nurse specifically what she's doing because it's in the early stages. I think that some of it, though, that's going on is a little blown way out of proportion. I think for the good of her and others, she should probably stay in and take, but it just bothers me that a lot of people are just, when a person come into an area like in Ohio, when a person came who'd had Ebola and they closed schools down. I'm sorry, he wasn't even in the schools. It's ridiculous. It's just becoming paranoia and the press just keeps driving it on.
Yeah, but whoa, you make a point.
Every day.
You make a point right there that needs to be, I need to intercede with you there just for a second. You said the media is creating some paranoia, but don't you agree with me, sir, that it's not only the press that may be causing some feelings of paranoia and distress, but we are looking at a government through this administration that is so lax and so absolutely ill-prepared with their information, and the Ebola czar, supposedly this Ron Klain that Obama appointed 3 weeks ago, he hasn't even showed up at the meetings or been at any of the press conferences. So I ask you, sir, is not the government at fault for letting this paranoia just run rampant?
I agree with you 100% there. I mean, my idea, too, is I've never understood why people coming back, we're not identified people coming back. We're not banning travel from there for the reason of not needing to have them travel. Or if they're coming, we're at least not making control of them immediately. I agree. Well, anything, my attitude, anything Obama does, I do the opposite. So, because I don't agree with him at all. So there's a lot of problem there in his leadership. Now it's taking care of. The only problem I'm trying to express is that, I watch CNBC every morning because I have stocks. Well, they're stocks, okay? And
right.
Stocks got affected big time by Ebola.
Right.
But now, it's not affecting them so much, but still every morning CNBC talks about Ebola.
Yeah.
Why? They're just because it's news. It's something for them to do, but to me it carries on the fear. And to me, again, thousands of people will die from flu this year.
Yeah.
They're not talking about that. So
I appreciate your call, and I certainly hope you'll call again. You're very articulate, and I appreciate it. Sir, God's blessings to you and your family. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Right.
Caller number 2, I'll be right there. Don't go away. I want to remind everybody about a big tire sale going on at your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. I just dropped all the papers on the floor. Don't forget the big tire sale with tires like the Terramax HT, the Wildcat AT2, Open Country AT2, the Ultra Z900. Oh, my. And they've got the best tire value promise in the industry, serving you at your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Center. Stop in. The best in brake service. I mean that. The best in brake service with professionally trained technicians. The best in front end alignment, shocks and struts, and batteries. Make sure your battery's in good shape. If not, get another one right now. Cold weather are coming. Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers with Lane and Rupert, Dave on Blue Lakes and Twin, Mike and Buell, Mike and Jerome, the Twist family and Paul, John on Pole Line in Twin Falls, Charles and Randy on Overland and Burley, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. Real quick, don't forget Four Paws Bed and Bath. This Saturday is going to have a Halloween party for your pets, your dogs and kitty cats. Yep, 370 West 200 south of Paul, 438-4444. All kinds of toys and treats and food, snacks, everything at the big Halloween party at Four Paws Bed and Bath, 370 West 200 south of Paul, for your dogs and kitty cats to have fun for Halloween. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning, Zeb.
Yes, sir.
I'm really frustrated with this flu shot thing. I've been trying to get one for 3 weeks. I've gone to Walmart, to Smith's, to Rite Aid, to the hospital, to everywhere around, and nobody has the flu shot to give it to me.
Now, Jerry, I'm going to interrupt you. Jerry, I'm going to interrupt you, and if you'll call me after the program, or if you're going to be at Lunch Bunch, I can give you at least 6 different locations where you can just walk in and 5 minutes later walk out. My wife and I went and got our flu shot last week. We didn't have any waiting. We didn't have any problem. We were in the store exactly 5 minutes and walked out. So I don't think there's as much of a problem as you think there is.
Well, I've sure been trying for 3 weeks, and I've been in Twin. I went to Costco. I've been to Walmart, both Walmarts, Burley and Twins. I've been to Smith's in Twin and Burley. I've been to Rite Aid in Burley.
Yeah, right.
I didn't go to one in Twin because I can't get into it.
Okay, I got to interrupt you again because I'm out of time, Jerry. I got to go to the news, but see me at Lunch Bunch today, and I will guarantee you some locations where you can just walk right in and get your shot. I got to go to the news, my friend. God bless you, man. Thanks. News next from ABC, and then following that, we've got the Chamber of Commerce report and a lot of other things. On a Thursday, Zeb at the Ranch. I love it. Happy Halloween. That a girl, Gina. I love it. Thank you. Zeb at the Ranch. And what was that? That wasn't the Munsters. The Addams Family, wasn't it?
Addams Family.
Yeah, Addams Family. Thank you very much. I love that. Welcome back, Zeb at the Ranch, on a Thursday with our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations, including some of our great advertisers, Lee's Furniture, Floors, and More at 459 Overland and Burley, and our friends at Ramsey Heating and Electric at 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley. Hey, I want to just remind you, and we thank, again, Joel Heward, manager of Hanson Mortuary, always so supportive of our Lunch Bunch and everything. We really appreciate all of his help. Very community-oriented. Hanson Mortuary, 710 6th Street in Rupert. Number to call, 436-5636. And they are there when you need them. And when there's the passing of a loved one, believe me, you need assistance. They're there with the highest ethical standards, with unquestioned integrity in serving you. Please remember the number, 436-5636. Hanson Mortuary in Rupert with Joel Heward serving you. Also, real quick reminder, every morning on the program, we start off the show with Michael Rogers Weather, and we have, of course, our sponsor, Cheney Flooring and Home Design. Nice people! Whitney was on our program a couple of weeks ago, and we're looking forward. I got to run down there and see her this next week. Cheney Flooring and Home Design, 1228 Oakley Avenue in Burley. Look for their blue door, and they will meet or beat any price on flooring. Cheney Flooring and Home Design. Look for the blue door at 1228 Oakley Avenue in Burley, 678-6945. Real fast, Gina, could we please have the good word for Representative Steve Hartkin?
From City of Rocks to the Twin Falls County Fair, this Magic Valley of ours offers tremendous opportunity for Idaho citizens, but we have to work to keep it that way. Low taxes, limited government, responsible financial management. I'm Stephen Hartkin, Idaho House Republican, and I'm proud to represent your Idaho Republican values. I'm running for re-election this fall and ask for your vote on November 4th. I'm House Republican Stephen Hartkin, and I approve this message.
Thank you very much. Let's go right now to the Minnecasia Chamber of Commerce, and a lovely lady sitting there looking at the ducks, looking at the mountains, enjoying her day in the office, the lovely Kay Cameron. Good morning. How are you?
I'm great. How are you this morning?
Not bad. Boy, we are in the heat of political season, and I urge you to tell everybody and yourself also to go vote next Tuesday.
Absolutely. That is so important. I don't care how you vote. Just get out and vote. It is so important to participate in our process that we have here in the United States. We're very fortunate that we all have the opportunity to go out and let our voices be heard. So everybody get out and vote, 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 vote. Vote early and vote often. That's something I've heard probably thousands of times in my life.
Okay, well,
get out and vote.
Okay. Now, here we go. It's hard for me to even fathom this, but we are on the last couple of days of the month of October already. Holy smokes. What do you got cooking for next month, November, with the Chamber of Commerce?
Well, we're always busy, as you know, and I talk about that all the time. But one thing I want to talk about today is it's fall season. The holidays are quickly approaching, much sooner than any of us really want them to. But they are coming up, and it is that time of year when people start thinking about giving to others. And there's a lot of need in our community, as there is in any community. And there's a couple of great things going on in our community. You know, we have such great people that do so many great things. But one thing I want to talk about is Bonanza Motors right now is doing a program called Stuff the Bus. And they've got 3 buses parked there in front of their facility. And you take your non-perishable food items there, and you want to stuff the bus, and you can pick whether yours goes with the Minico High School, the Declo High School, or the Burley High School. Let's see, it's Minico, Burley, and then Oakley, Declo, Raft River.
I see.
They're all combined. And then they are going to donate that food to those in need here in our community, but they're also going to donate $1 for every pound of food that is inside the buses to each of those schools.
Wow.
So it's really a win-win situation. They're helping people in need, but they're also turning around and giving back to the schools. So it's a food drive here in our community. So it goes until the 31st, until tomorrow. So get out your non-perishables, take them to Bonanza Motors, and help out everybody.
And
Everybody wins.
and stuff the bus.
Stuff the bus.
I love that. Stuff the bus.
I know, it's great. Another thing that's going on right now is they're looking for coats for kids.
Yes.
There's many kids here in our community that don't have a coat. And the Minicaja Realtors Association is doing a coat drive right now to get coats for kids. So I believe that several of the realtors' offices around you can take coats there and donate them, or just get in touch with one of them and they can tell you where to do that. But there is really a need, and it's so great that so many people are so willing to give and to participate. And so that is just one thing that makes our community so awesome, is we really do have such a giving community, and people are willing to help out. But it's that time of year that the food banks, you know, they need contributions. We've got the turkey dinners coming up, both in Rupert and Burley for Thanksgiving, and they can always use donations so they can feed people on Thanksgiving Day. And then, of course, the Christmas Council always is looking for things. So, you know, if you have a little extra you can give, now's the time to start thinking about where you want to give and to help out the many organizations that help others here in our community.
Absolutely. Kay Cameron of the Minicaja Chamber of Commerce. Tell us, please, how they can call and ask questions.
Give us a call at 208-679-4793. Come by and see us. We're located at 1177 7th Street in Hayburn. You can find us online at minicajachamber.com. You can like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and connect on LinkedIn.
All right. Kay, have a wonderful, wonderful weekend, and I'll talk to you next week, okay?
I will, and everybody be safe this Halloween weekend.
All right. Good advice. Thank you very much, Kay Cameron with the Minicaja Chamber of Commerce. And we're going to ask the lovely Gina right now if we could have a good word for Jim Risch and HJR2.
Mitt Romney on Jim Risch. Jim Risch is a person who you can count on to help build jobs, to say no to the growth of government, to say no to the growth of taxes, to say yes to family values, and to stand up for the people of our nation and the state of Idaho. This is a man of integrity, honesty, and character.
Jim Risch is the person we can trust to fight for us in Washington. Jim Risch for the U.S. Senate.
I'm Jim Risch, and I approve this message.
Paid Risch for U.S. Senate.
Vote yes November 4th for HJR2, a constitutional amendment to keep the power of Idaho governance with the people. Vote yes on HJR2 to limit executive power over you and your business. Vote yes on HJR2 to keep your legislators working for your needs, not special interest groups. Vote yes on HJR2 to preserve the voice of we the people for the state of Idaho. Vote yes on HJR2. Paid for by Representative Fred Wood, House Speaker Scott Bedke, and Senator Dean Cameron. Vote yes on HJR2.
Maxine Bell, representative from District 25A, urges you to vote next Tuesday, November 4th, and, of course, get out and bring your neighbors. Everybody needs to exercise their voting privileges and be a voice. Vote on November 4th and be a responsible, patriotic American. This message paid for by District 25 Representative Maxine Bell. Lovely lady. To the good folks of Jerome County and rural Twin Falls County, a proven leader for the Gem State, Maxine Bell. Also, I want to remind you, too, about our dear friend, and he's going to be on the air with us in the next couple of days, Representative Fred Wood, running unopposed for representative in District 27. Fred is the chair of the Health and Welfare Committee and on the Resources and Environment Committee, and he has worked very hard for the folks in District 27. And he'd like to thank everybody who has voted for him in the past and encourages people to get out and vote on November 4th and vote yes on the constitutional amendment HJR2, paid for by Fred Wood for House seat number 27. Gina, are you right there? I got to ask you something real fast.
No, I ran away.
Okay, bye. Did you happen to catch any of the news last night or early this morning on television?
No.
This is so good. This is so good. You're going to get a kick out of this because you have, in some respects, a warped sense of humor like I do. Okay?
Okay. Yes.
All right. Now, picture this. A news crew is driving down the street at night, okay, from a local television station. And they see this man, and he's out in the dark, scurrying along the highway, collecting certain signs of political signs that are on the side of the road. So they stop and they say, the newsman that has the microphone jumps out and says, "Sir, what are you doing?" And the guy stops, and he's trying not to look at the camera. And the guy says, "Well, I'm just picking up these signs." Well, the newsman says, "Well, why are you picking up those signs? The election hasn't occurred yet." "Oh, well, these signs, they don't need them." Well, it turns out, Gina, it is the husband of a Democratic political person, a woman that's running in Delaware, and her husband was out late at night picking up the signs of her opponent.
I kind of figured that's where the story was going. So did he get arrested?
He's going to get arrested, and not only that, but he is going to be charged with a whole bunch of counts, and he and his lovely bride that's running for office on the Democratic ticket in Delaware, he might serve a year in prison and have to pay a $25,000 fine.
Well, not only that, but he was the top news story of the evening.
Yes, he was! And he gave his lovely bride so much good publicity.
Oh, I'm sure that he did, and I'm sure that she is so thankful for his help.
Yeah, don't you, honest to goodness, it just is beyond me why people have to lie, cheat, steal, and everything else to try to get elected. And here's the husband, and he's got a whole armful of these signs, and the guy says, "Well, what are you doing? The election's not till Tuesday." "Well, we don't need them anymore." And it comes to fruition that these are all for the opponent.
And I kind of find it funny that it's actually a news guy, you know, the news that actually discovered this guy out doing it. So, hey, investigative reporting, way to go.
Oh, I love it. I just love stories like this in politics. Oh, man. I've got to pay some bills. What's that?
I said people will stoop to the lowest of lows.
Isn't that true, though, and unfortunate in our society that they will stoop that low? You know, we did an event one time about 6 years ago, and we put up signs. It was a patriotic event, and some absolutely sleazy, low-life character came along after we put the signs up and took them off the side of the road and took them and burned them. Yeah, that is so frustrating. I mean, there are lowlifes out there, and it's not hard to find some of them either.
No, they kind of make their way to the surface.
Yeah, they do, especially around Halloween.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, Representative Clark Kaufman, a Filer area farmer and businessman, is running for re-election for state representative in District 25. Kaufman has the leadership experience with multiple statewide organizations and received the Friend of the Co-op Award from the Idaho Co-op Council in 2014. He thanks you for the privilege of serving as your representative for the past 2 years and asks for your vote in the November general election. He encourages you to register and vote, and that's, of course, paid for by the committee to elect Clark Kaufman for Idaho State Representative for District 25, Seat B. Debbie Kaufman, Treasurer. Really good old boy, Clark Kaufman. Oh, by the way, Lee's Furniture. We're going to talk to them a little bit later on this morning, and they've got all kinds of things going on with a great big fall harvest of values. But I also want to remind you real quick, and we'll take some calls, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Let's ride. Highway 24 between Rupert and Burley. They're open Monday through Saturday, 9 to 6. They've got all the 2015 snowmobiles in stock. Yes, they do, and all of the accessories. Wow! They really are ready for that angel dandruff to be up on the mountains. And they also know that it's a good time to have all your watercraft winterized, and better have your ATV service too. And they've got all the accessories ready for Christmas. You bet. Lots of great Christmas shopping right there at Let's Ride. Highway 24 between Rupert and Burley, absolutely where the fun is sold. Really good folks. Give us a call, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587.
He's got Mort in the studio, you know. He's waiting for his little dog nation.
Does he feel like he's more important than the 9,000 political commercials that I have?
Yeah.
I figured that. Well, make him wait 30 seconds longer as we listen to Secretary of State Lawrence Denny, would you please?
Let me pull up the ad real quick.
Okay, thanks. Hello, sweet chariot. Did Lawrence Denny leave the studio?
Idaho's right to vote. Idaho's right to vote is critical. We need a steady hand to guarantee that right against pressures from the federal government. Lawrence Denny is that steady hand. His hand served our nation in Vietnam. His hand tilled the soil in rural Idaho and made crucial decisions as Speaker in the Idaho legislature. Lawrence Denny knows our values. He can carry on the tradition as Secretary of State. Protect your right to vote with experienced hands. Vote Denny for Idaho Secretary of State.
Hey, Denny for Idaho, Rick Howard, Treasurer.
Thank you very much. I just had a news flash come across my desk that maybe you said, like the song Home on the Range, Gina, some discouraging words. I got to ask her.
Who, me? Discouraging what? Who? Huh?
Discouraging words while the ad wouldn't play. Hey, where'd all these dogs come from anyway? Oh, my. Who let the dogs out? Well, I'll tell you, he didn't let them out. He corralled them and let them in. And that's Officer Mort with Minidoka Animal Control. Hello, Officer Mort, sitting in the studio, twiddling your thumbs.
Good morning, Zeb. How are you today?
Don't ask. Don't even go there. Okay.
One of them days, I take it.
It is. What's happening, man?
We want to feature Toby. He is a registered blue tick hound.
A blue tick hound.
Yes, he is, and he does love to talk.
Okay.
He's 4 years old. He's leash trained, good with kids and other dogs. He was an owner surrender due to their moving and unable to take him and the other dog that they had with them.
Okay.
I mean, he is very, very well-mannered dog. Other than him, like I say, he likes to talk. And when they surrendered him, they actually surrendered the registration paperwork on him as well. So, I mean, we've got all the paperwork on him and everything. So So if anybody's interested in him or any of the other dogs we have, they can contact us at 438-2200 or contact me on my cell phone at 670-7268.
Give us a little bit of an example. Now, this is a chance for you to go into your wilder side and give us a little bit of an example of how a blue tick hound sounds when he talks and visits with people.
He has got a major howl on that. I can't even howl like that.
Oh, no, that's not part of the deal. See, Mort, the deal is when you're representing Dog Nation, you have to be able to imitate the wild sounds of a certain type of dog. So go ahead, Ken, tell us how the dog sounds.
I'll give him my best shot.
All right, here we go. And how long have you had this medical problem, Ken?
Since about 2 seconds ago.
Okay. Oh, my. Just get up from the chair slowly and don't bump the table. Okay, so that's what the dog called Toby sounds like, and a blue tick hound, right?
Yes, I mean, he is a very beautiful boy. I mean, he's still intact. We still are offering stuff and that through tomorrow and that any dog adopted out of the facility, a free spay or neuter and that, so where it's still considered Adopt a Shelter Dog Month.
Okay.
So please get in contact with us, and we'll see if we can find you a fun-loving pet.
Blue Tick Hound. Now, where did that name come from, the Blue Tick Hound? Do you have any idea?
You know, I'm not really sure. I know they're kind of a black, and they've kind of got that grayish blue on that on their coat.
Yeah.
He's also got tan. I mean, he is a purebred. Matter of fact, I was talking to a gentleman or Annette who knows a guy that actually has this dog's brother.
Oh, okay.
And they came from the same bloodline and everything. And he said they've been wonderful Annette dogs. They're actually bred for hunting, Annette bird hunting and stuff. So. I mean, I'm not sure how much work he's had bird hunting because the individual wasn't able to really give me a whole lot of information because he was on his lunch break and only had 30 minutes to get all this taken care of.
Yeah, okay.
But I'm sure with a little work, he'd make an excellent hunting dog.
Okay, so now Toby, the Blue Tick Hound, is over at Minidoka Animal Control, and it's a very friendly, lovable dog, and it likes to talk, right?
Most definitely.
And so I think in order to really put out a professional appeal for this dog, one more time, ladies and gentlemen, in a mimicry of the dog so that you can understand what the dog's going to sound like, here is Officer Mort one more time. Go ahead.
You're driving Gina nuts.
You realize, of course,
better than that.
You realize, of course, your career for job opportunities is completely gone. Don't you know that?
Oh, I'm sure.
Okay.
There's also one other thing I want to mention too, Zeb.
Okay.
Tomorrow night being Halloween.
Yeah.
We need to make sure everybody and stuff, and all you pet owners out there that are listening, and anybody that's maybe not listening and stuff, and that kind of get the word passed around. Make sure you guys are keeping your dogs contained tomorrow evening.
Yes.
With all the kids are going to be running around. Yeah, they can stir the dogs up and everything. We don't need any dog bite issues and stuff like that during Halloween.
Absolutely.
Not only that, but, dogs get afraid with a lot of people running around, and then so dogs are more apt to run off as well. So
exactly.
Just keep your animals in, and it's just a lot safer for everybody.
Keep them chained up and know where they're at, not near the porch, not near the little kids. And if you do go over and get Toby will sit on the porch and go, oh! Right?
I think his sounded better than yours.
Yeah, but just remember who gives you a paycheck.
This is true.
Okay.
You did an excellent job there, Zeb.
Thanks. I knew my dog sounded better than his dog.
Yes.
Officer Ken Mort, God bless you, man. Thank you so much on behalf of Dog Nation. And who let all these dogs in the studio anyway?
Who let the dogs out? Who let the dogs out?
Oh, my. I like that, man. I like his segment. Officer Ken Mort, Minidoka Animal Control. Did you hear that? Well, yeah, if you didn't hear that, well, then you better get a hold of Mount Harrison Audiology. Yes, Christine Pickup, Doctor of Audiology at 1218 9th Street, Unit 2, right behind the Minidoka Hospital, across from the emergency room. And the number to call for a hearing screening is 312-0957. 312-0957. I'm going to say it again, 312-0957. And please, please, please get over there if you've noticed a loss in hearing and you've noticed that, what did he say, Martha? Well, listen, hearing loss is not a part of aging. Well, you might have a problem. So check it out at Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids, 312-0957. Real quick, too, I want to remind you about our friends at Cameron and Siemens Insurance, Highway 24 in Rupert. Hello, Dean. Hello, Todd. Dean Cameron, Todd Siemens. Dedicated and responsive to your needs. Boy, I tell you what, they just know their business. They do. They're excellent at it. All you have to do is call them and say, what about our life insurance, health insurance, retirement planning, employee benefits? They know. They know. 436-4424. Cameron and Siemens Insurance, Highway 24 in Rupert. Let me take a look at my list. I got to tell you that we have been absolutely swamped, and I want to make sure that we get everything done. And I also want to remind you about a dear friend of ours. I am absolutely really high on this guy. He is one of the best senators in our legislative session. I bit my tongue. And that's, of course, Lee Hyder, Senator for District 24. The best always stand the test, and Idaho Senator Lee Hyder is one of the best. He has been very, very cognizant of serving his constituents and has done a wonderful job, and he urges everybody to go vote next Tuesday, November 4th. This man cares. Vote Lee Hyder for Senator District 24, paid for by Lee Hyder for Senate District 24. Really a good old boy. All right, let's see where I'm at here. I got that taken care of. I've got that taken care of. And right now, I'm going to say good morning to the lovely Rita Ramsey. How are you?
Good morning. I'm real good, thank you.
You know, we got a lot to talk about. Not only is next Tuesday voting day, November 4th, and I'm sure we'll get into that in just a few minutes, but I've got so many other things to ask you about, one of which is, did you happen to see the interview with Attorney General Eric Holder when he was asked about voter fraud in past elections and also the upcoming election, and he said basically there's no such thing as voter fraud. Holy smokes, what planet is he living on?
That just tells you that we know there is voter fraud and they have no intention of trying to make any kind of changes.
Rita, why, you're going to have to help me on something, but what is the big deal? What is the big hassle of obtaining identification that you need for everything else in life, from getting on a plane or getting a library card? What is the big hassle when you know well in advance of the election that you've got to have the ID? You know well in advance when you're in town you can take care of it. It's no big hassle. Why are the Democrats and the liberals so absolutely hell-bent on complaining about voter ID?
Well, first of all, there isn't a big deal about obtaining a ID, and second of all, they don't think or probably can't win if they play by the rules.
Okay.
And so they have to change the rules and make sure that they cheat, and that's all there is to it.
We've already seen in some of the early voting, some of the machines, I'm sure you're just as appalled as I am because this couldn't possibly happen, Rita. Some of the machines, when they hit the Republican button, why they went over to the Democratic side. Why, that's highly unusual, isn't it?
Well, that's what's really bothersome about it, is because if you go in there to vote, and the majority of people, when they go in to vote, they'll go in and press who they've got and not do a second-hand look to make sure that they pressed who they thought they did. It's like, okay, here we go, and you press all the buttons, and ta-da, I'm done, and off you go, instead of looking to see if it actually registered what you were punching. And that's what's the big problem is that they've got it somehow rigged to where I heard one lady saying that it took about 6 different tries with those buttons to finally get them to hold.
Oh, my goodness. And what about, when they say there's no voter fraud? I mean, my goodness, I don't remember her name, but we had that one black lady back in Illinois. She went out the back door, went in the front door, went out the back door, went in the front door. I think she voted something like 10 times illegally.
Oh, they have numbers of them that have gone from one voting district or precinct to another, and just went, made the rounds and did several times in the same city, and didn't check on it. This is a big problem, because when the people who are counting the votes don't feel like that it's important to make sure and verify all of the information they've got, we end up with fraud big time. I don't know whether you heard about it or not. This came out during the primary elections, that the last time that we voted, there were about 30,000 votes in the state of Idaho. Most of them were from eastern Idaho, up there in the Boise area, that were set to have to be verified, which means they shouldn't be counted until they're verified that those people actually were eligible to vote.
Mm-hmm.
And they never did verify them, but they counted them.
But they counted them.
They counted them, but they never did verify them.
Oh, my goodness.
30,000 votes. That can swing pretty fast from one place to another in a small area like Idaho.
No kidding. And, it just is so appalling to me that why they have to cheat. And we're seeing it. I mean, my goodness, we've seen bags of votes that were hauled in the back room and were never counted because maybe it was a high Republican precinct or something. And why is it that people can't be forthright and honest? It's getting worse instead of better.
Well, it's that they simply think that they can't win by doing it honestly. And you remember back in probably the 2008 election as well as the 2012, is there were precincts that had boxfuls of votes in the trunk of the car that didn't make it to the county place for the final counts.
Yeah, that's right. Now,
I mean, it's terrible, it's horrible, but you know that there was voter fraud when there were precincts in Pennsylvania in 2012 that did not have one single vote for Mitt Romney.
Yeah, that's
right.
Not
a single one.
That's right. But for Eric Holder to sit there in this interview and say, voter fraud, come on, you got to be kidding me. There is no such thing. How could he be either that much of a liar or that naive?
Well, if he admits that there's voter fraud, then we have to do something about it, and that's the last thing that he wants to have to go through his office is finding out that there was voter fraud. But it's no different than everything else that he has had. It doesn't, whether it was Benghazi or whether it was guns and Fast and Furious with the gun thing, or whether it was the IRS stuff or any of the other stuff that came across his desk. He would not do it fairly. I mean, and it all started with, remember the voter fraud thing that they, in the Bush administration, they had actually brought up charges against those guys, I think it was in Philadelphia, that were some of the Black Panthers that had showed up to the voting places with their billy clubs and were kind of threatening people.
Yeah.
There was a lawsuit filed against those guys for voter intimidation or whatever, and the minute that Eric Holder was sworn in, he dismissed it.
Absolutely. Rita, the other worry I've got, and I don't want to hear excuses from anybody next Wednesday, the day after voting. I don't want to hear, go to the coffee shop and hear these coffee shop cowboys sit there and go, I didn't vote because this, that, and the other. I had a hangnail, and I don't want excuses. I mean, my goodness, we need to get the voter turnout up there to the point where the percentages are a lot more than 23, 25, 27%. I am so sick and tired of seeing elections not treated with respect.
Well, I feel the same way. However, I don't want somebody to go just to say, I voted. I want them to know what the issues are and know who they want to vote for and why, and then have an informed vote. Because it really ticks me off if somebody goes in and cancels my vote when I'm informed and I've looked at the issues and I've read information and I've studied the candidates and I've gone to various different things to learn. And then somebody just comes in and can cancel my vote, and they don't know squat about anything. I'd rather they did stay in the coffee shop or keep their hangnail.
Well, I agree with you there 100%, but let's be more definitive of this. And it seems to be more of the liberal left and the Democrats more than anybody else, absolutely encouraging, like what's going on in California with Governor Jerry Brown, encouraging the illegal aliens to try to go ahead and get into our polls and vote.
Oh, absolutely, and it just comes back down to it. They must be afraid that they're not going to have a fair shot at winning, so they've got to cheat. And that's all it is it's just cheating. And when we don't say something about it and the lawmakers don't go forth and verify and make sure that the votes are all valid, they're just letting somebody cheat to get away with it, and it's a bad deal. It's not fair. It's not what the founders intended, and it's not right.
I wanted to ask you, and I kind of sidetracked myself a little bit here and back up. This horrendous killing in California by an illegal alien that was deported 4 times, and he comes up here and he shoots 2 California policemen in the face and kills them. And I'm just livid about this. Most people should be livid about this as to why Governor Jerry Brown in California is absolutely encouraging more illicit and illegal activity with illegal aliens coming in. And he might not even attend the funerals for the 2 California policemen. How disgusting is that?
Well, first of all, I would think that as the governor that he would attend, and I'd heard one of the policemen say he generally does attend, so whether he does or not is really not the issue. The issue is, why did this happen?
Absolutely.
And the only answer is that they aren't enforcing the laws, and I wonder, and I don't know this, but my big question is, should not the families be able to have a class action lawsuit against the government of the state, or whether it's the governor or those of the city or whoever didn't deport him on various different times? The news kept saying that he had been deported twice, but I heard on a interview that I heard yesterday, he had actually been deported 4 times.
Yes, I heard the same thing. Same thing. And it doesn't make any difference, Rita, if it's 1 or 4 or 10 or whatever. This should have never happened because of our lax, totally ridiculous open border policies.
Well, that's right. And when we just let politicians get away with everything they want to do because we voted for them and we gave them the authority, and then we just keep electing them without saying, you know what, it's time for this person to go down the road because he's not doing what he needs to do. We just ask for it, and it's really sad because we're ruining our country. Our country isn't what it should be, and it's going to get worse before it gets better if we don't start holding these people accountable and making sure that they get stuff done. And it doesn't matter whether they have an R behind their name or a D behind their name. They better start upholding the law and making sure that we are protected as American citizens. That's really the government's only and main responsibility, and they're not doing it.
I agree. I want to shift gears a little bit, and I want to ask you, last hour we talked extensively about Ebola and about the Ebola quote-unquote crisis, and especially this nurse. Her name is Hickox, and she came back from West Africa, and she has many, many times been exposed to the Ebola virus, and she came back and she lives in Maine, and basically there was a court order that she stay in her home and not associate with anybody in her neighborhood or community for 21 days to make sure that she's not going to get it, and she's thumbing her nose at the rest of the world and saying, I'll go any doggone place I want to, and you're not going to tell me I can't. What are your thoughts about this woman?
I kind of go back to what Gina said earlier on, that these people who are in health care, generally, they are good and they want to protect human life, and their job and their goal is for compassion and healing. And that's not what this lady's about. She is no more about compassion and healing than fly to the moon. And even though she went to the doctor, to the country where they were doing that, whether it was Doctors Without Borders or what, I'm not really sure. But even though she did that, and that was really wonderful that she was willing to do that, she should have some integrity about her and say, you know what, I feel like that I can be the one that can lead the way with this waiting until I'm confirmed that I'm not going to be contagious or cause anyone else to get it. Wouldn't it be horrible if she went back to work and started treating people and found out that a number of the people that she had treated or taken care of ended up getting it also? I mean, I just can't imagine someone who has a good heart and a good head on their shoulders wouldn't say, you know what, I don't want to do that, but I don't want to be the one that's responsible for an outbreak of such a thing to happen.
Yeah, but it goes back, and here's the point I made last hour. I'm sure you heard it. It goes back even further than this nurse or whether or not she should be allowed to stay in her house or be allowed to leave. It goes back to the completely chaotic and amateuristic attitude this administration's had in being progressive to let us know the information about Ebola, and the government coming in to protect us American citizens first and foremost. Obama's administration has been totally amateuristic about what they've done.
Well, it makes you wonder if they're just really that amateuristic or if they're doing it intentionally. Like, well, if we can't bring in all the illegals around the world and let them overwhelm the system, let's have a breakout of some kind of a killer disease. And you notice that Obama used the words epidemic once this week. It's not an epidemic yet, but he's using it kind of like, well, if I start declaring it epidemic, then I have power. And he has already done that this week in one of the news things that he gave. So it's kind of like, okay, and you can jump on the conspiracy train with me. I don't know, but it just makes you wonder. Doesn't make any sense at all.
No, I agree with you, and I've got a caller, and I want to elaborate on this a little bit, but I've got a caller with a question, and I'm going to ask the caller patience. I need to do the weather real fast so we don't get late. We got a whole bunch of commercials to do, and the weather this hour is brought to everybody by Lennox Home Comfort Systems. Whether it's a gas furnace, air conditioner, or a heat pump, you and your family will enjoy the comfort from Lennox through our friends at Ramsey Heating and Electric at 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley, open 7:30 to 5:30 Monday through Friday. Here now, Michael Rogers weather.
Yeah, hello everyone, Michael Rogers of the Ranch. Today's going to be a lot better than yesterday. Tonight's going to be a lot better than last night. Tomorrow's going to be better than today. When it comes to the weather, that is. Sunny today, partly cloudy tonight, sunny tomorrow. 68 for the high for both days. Overnight lows will be in the 40s. I'm going to just do this real quick here because I've been keeping tabs on it, and it's been back and forth for about the last day and a half. I'm calling for snow on Saturday night going into Sunday. Yes, I am. It'll start out as rain, turn into snow, and then it'll warm back up into rain going into Sunday. So look for your temperatures to support both of those. So there is the entire weekend forecast. Enjoy the weather. Still the weather you got.
Thank you, Michael. Snow, he said. My goodness, brought to you by Lennox Home Comfort Systems through our friends at Ramsey Heating and Electric, 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley, where they provide warm winters and cool summers. Caller, go ahead quickly, please.
I just had kind of a comment. If I go camping and build a fire at the camp, and I go to bed, and that fire gets away and spreads all over and burns half the forest down, I'm on the hook for that. Why aren't we doing something similar to that with these people that have come in contact with Ebola? If they go out and just spread it all over, why aren't they on the hook for everything?
That's a very good point. Rita, I'll have you talk about that on the air. The man brings up an excellent point.
There is no difference. It's all called personal responsibility, and that's what we've got so far away from in our country today. Is there's certain things you have to be responsible for, and other things nobody has to be responsible for. And this administration has been at the top of the list these last several years of being not responsible for anything. But if you look back, the Clinton era actually is the one who started that, when it's like, I did not have sex with that woman, or what is the definition of is. That's when it all started. People didn't hold him responsible, and it was just like, well, let's open the floodgates, and nobody has to be responsible for anything.
I agree with you, but the whole administration and look at the czar. Look at the czar that he appointed, Ron Klain. The man has not even gone to the meetings. The man hasn't stood up and given any press releases. The man has done nothing. And then look at the other doctor from the CDC. He all of a sudden has been pushed into obscurity, and nobody ever hears anything from the CDC at all. This is an internal mess from this administration, Rita.
Oh, absolutely, and that's done by design. They said, "Hey, we've got an Ebola czar, so quit asking questions." And by the way, you don't need to ask him questions either because he's not going to be available for him. But we have a czar.
Yeah, caller. Good morning. Quickly, I'm almost out of time.
Well, the big problem is now, because this is an international crisis, they're going to use this to formulate more of these trade agreements between Europe and Trans-Pacific and so forth. So these things, we've got to stop the fast track, because this is being negotiated behind closed doors. We don't know anything about it. Call your senators and say no fast track, because once they get fast track, we're screwed, just like we were on NAFTA.
I agree.
They're using this as an excuse.
I agree with you, caller. Thank you.
Comment on that. Thank you.
Rita, go ahead and comment quickly, and then I'll move to the last topic.
Oh, I absolutely agree. That's the one thing that I've heard more than one person say, and I always try to keep in the back of my mind. When there's a bunch of crap going on someplace, and what's happening in the other hand? We're looking at all of this. What actually is really happening? And so he makes an excellent point, is they're doing all kinds of stuff that they should not be doing, and people aren't paying attention because we're paying attention to Ebola.
I agree with you. It's kind of a magician and the rabbit in the wrong hat. I agree.
Yep.
Real quick, last subject, and my goodness, what happened with this supposedly senior White House aide saying about Israel's Benjamin Netanyahu, yeah, he's nothing more than a chicken boy. This is bad news from this administration, calling Netanyahu names, is it not?
My first thought on that was I would be willing to bet money that whoever did that is probably somewhat related to the Muslim Brotherhood and not those type of people that he has in there. Mm-hmm. And they have a real hate for the Jewish people as well as Netanyahu, because he's the leader of the Jewish nation.
Right.
And I think that they should be taken out of that position and punished for saying something like that, which leads me to think that Obama must agree or they would have censored it.
Read it real quick, and I am almost out of time for this hour, but to me it's very low-class to have a story like this where you're saying that somebody's a coward, somebody's chicken you-know-what, and in this day and age, we need all the allies and the friends that we can get, which Obama has not yet chased away Israel. This is a low-class thing for this administration to be a part of, and even some people in the media have said it might have been Obama himself.
Well, it wouldn't surprise me, and it just as well have been him, because if he didn't censor it or say, I will not tolerate that type of thing from happening, he's held responsible because he is the guy in charge.
Absolutely. Rita, real quick, next Tuesday, Election Day, November 4th, and I'd like to give you I got 15 seconds left. Urge everybody to go vote, please.
Well, I'd like people to learn the issues and get the information so that you know what you're voting for. I'd also like to mention that we're having a Common Core meeting, and it's on Saturday morning at 10 o'clock at the King Fine Arts Center, the little theater. There is no charge, but you need to go. You need to talk to anyone who has children. All of you people who are listening, please get those people there that need to hear this message and get informed so that we can start fighting this, because we are going to have to fight it after the first of the year with our legislators.
All right. Rita Ramsey, thank you so much. God bless you, my dear friend, and thank you for being on the program this week.
You bet. Bye.
Thank you. Gina, if you would please, I'd like to have the good words for Lieutenant Governor Brad Little and our friend Jim Risch, if you would please.
Hi, I'm Brad Little, and I'm running for Lieutenant Governor. Idahoans are some of the most innovative and hardest working people in the world. Let's help all Idahoans be job choosers, not job takers, for a better future.
Idaho is one of the best states to do business. With a strong system of education, we can attract more jobs in both traditional industries and new fields, like health, energy, manufacturing, and technology.
I'm Brad Little. Let's work together to build strong families, strong career choices, and a strong Idaho.
Hey, Little for Idaho, Tom Johnston, Treasurer.
Like most Idahoans, Senator Jim Risch shares the bootstrap roots that gives our state its independent character and strong values. Born into a working-class family, his dad, Elroy, was a lineman for the telephone company. Helen, his mom, worked in the school cafeteria. They stressed the importance of hard work and perseverance. He wasn't handed an education. He worked his way through college, working in kitchens and harvesting peas in the Palouse. Close to the U of I, where he earned degrees in forestry and law. He has served Idaho as a prosecuting attorney, state senator, lieutenant governor, and U.S. senator. Unimpressed with D.C. politics, Senator Risch fights the status quo and stands firm on the principles and beliefs expressed by the people of Idaho who sent him to Washington to represent them. On November 4th, let's make sure Jim Risch continues to fight for Idaho values in Washington.
I'm Jim Risch, and I approve this message.
Paid Risch for U.S. Senate.
Thank you very much. And right now, Gina's favorite time on a Thursday, and mine too. If you're hungry and starving to death, I know some great places to go, and I'm going to quickly go through these before I run out of time. Taco Bandito, 2301 Overland Avenue in Burley. Oh, ho, 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 ho. You've got to try the delicious pumpkin empanadas and the southern baked burritos, either soft shell or grilled shell, either chicken or steak at Taco Bandito. Absolutely delicious. 2301 Overland in Burley, Taco Bandito. Let's not forget Burgers, etc. 124 South Oneida in Rupert and 700 North Overland in Burley. Two locations, and the soup is on at Burgers, etc. Monday through Friday. A different variety every day, just in time for the cold weather. And check out all the corn dogs, everything, and shrimp baskets. Oh, it's delicious. At Burgers, etc., 2 locations, Rupert and Burley. Let's not forget what's going on over at Steve-O's, 290 South, 600 west of Hayburn. Food made the way you like it. Enjoy their new entryway. It is beautiful, and they've got the best of French fries over there at Steve-O's. They've got the best of menu items. I love the steak sandwich, and you're going to love the pork chops with salad and choice of potatoes. Good. Friendly servers, dedicated staff at Steve-O's, 290 South, 600 west of Hayburn. You stop over and see them today. And don't forget Duck Uglies at 163 West Highway 30 in Burley, right next to Berry Equipment and Rental. Oh, the ribeye steaks. Knock your boots off. Delicious. New York steaks, salmon, all kinds of sandwiches. Absolutely delicious. Duck Uglies is kid and family friendly in a non-smoking environment. And they're going to be having a Halloween party at Duck Uglies this Friday. Halloween. Don't miss it. It's going to be a lot of fun. And they got talent coming in to sing. Everything is fun at Duck Uglies on Highway 30 in Burley. And last but not least, the AC Drive-In, 601 East Main in Burley. Oh my. Famous Farmer Brown burgers, ranch burgers, 3-piece fish and chips with small fry, only $7 1/4. Any taste of milkshake flavor that you would like. It is great. Always has been. And they were voted to have the best hamburger award for this year in the Minicash area. AC Drive-In, 601 East Main in Burley. And those are just a few places to go when you're hungry and starving to death. Real quick, we're going to ask Gina if she would play the good word for Ron Crane.
On Election Day, Idaho voters should choose a state treasurer with a 16-year record of success in helping improve the lives of Idahoans. Treasurer Ron Crane has nurtured and grown the tax-deductible Ideal College Savings Program, which thousands of Idaho families now use to continue their children's education. And nearly 25,000 Idaho women have gained saving and investing skills through Ron Crane's popular Smart Women, Smart Money training program. Vote Ron Crane for treasurer. Experienced investing, protecting Idaho's taxpayers.
Paid Crane for Idaho State Treasurer.
And thank you very much. We're going to take a little break and send it back over to ABC News. And then we'll come back next hour with all kinds of goodies. Zeb at the Ranch, don't you go away. Oh, the music of the Twilight Zone. Rod Serling. Yeah, I remember those programs. I love those, and they really left you with a little tingly feeling when they were all done. Good morning, everybody. I'm Zeb Bell, Zeb at the Ranch, with our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, along with all 7 locations. And, of course, we're going to be talking to Lease Furniture, Floors, and more in just a few minutes at 459 Overland in Burley, and also our thanks to Ramsey Heating and Electric at 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley. Real quick, the Chadwick Sports Grill, 139 West Main in Burley, with the chipotle and lime marinated 8-ounce steaks today, served with choice of potato, mixed vegetables, super salad. Ooh, does that sound good? Chipotle and lime marinated 8-ounce steaks. Delicious menu items at the Chadwick Sports Grill, 139 West Main in Burley. You stop over and see them today. Gina, really quick, could we please have the good words for Representative Steve Hartkin?
From City of Rocks to the Twin Falls County Fair, this Magic Valley of ours offers tremendous opportunity for Idaho citizens, but we have to work to keep it that way. Low taxes, limited government, responsible financial management. I'm Stephen Hartkin, Idaho House Republican, and I'm proud to represent your Idaho Republican values. I'm running for re-election this fall and ask for your vote on November 4th. I'm House Republican Stephen Hartkin, and I approve this message.
Thank you very much. And also Maxine Bell, representative from District 25A, urges you to go vote next Tuesday, November 4th. And Maxine Bell really knows that people need to exercise their voting privileges and be a voice. Vote November 4th and be a responsible, patriotic American. This message paid for by District 25 Representative Maxine Bell. To the good folks of Jerome County and rural Twin Falls County, a proven leader for the Gem State, Maxine Bell. Let's go on down to 459 Overland in Burley, and that's Lee's Furniture, Floors, and More. A lot of fall savings. Good morning.
Good morning, Zeb. Thanks for having me on the show.
I'll bet you this is Jason.
Jason.
Well, how are you?
We're doing great. You know, Zeb, you're right. It's fall time. And we've got a real special treat for all of our customers out there. We've got our customer appreciation sale coming up, and everything is going to be marked down. We've got, closeouts, one-of-a-kind, entertainment centers, home office, occasional tables, where you can get those all up to 50% off. Sofas, love seats, sectionals up to 50% off. We've got a huge sale on dining tables. With Thanksgiving not too far away, needing that extra table space, extra seating for family coming in town, we've got those marked up to 50% off. Accessories up to 50% off. This is a huge sale, Zeb. We're just marking everything down just to say thank you to all those who have supported us and all those of our customers.
Now, with Thanksgiving right around the corner, and I'm sure that there's still time, but boy, you've got rolls and rolls and rolls of carpet, so you can show off the new carpet to all the relatives when they come over on Thanksgiving.
Absolutely, Zeb. We've got, before you get the family in town, before you start putting your Christmas tree up after that, come take a look at our in-stock rolls of carpet. We've got over 100 rolls of carpet in stock, all special buys, ready to go. We could have this put in your home within a matter of days. And you'll get the special buys from these roll specials. So come take advantage of that. Get ready for that holiday season coming up.
Absolutely. You folks do so much to help the community and everything, and also they need a good night's sleep. You've got mattresses and a lot of kings for the price of a queen, etc. Tell us about it quickly.
We've got mattresses. Almost all of our mattresses are half off right now. So come take advantage of those specials. We've got a $1,200 queen-size set. Right now, get it for only $499.
Wow.
Outstanding value. Can't beat the quality with your pocketed coil foaming case. Just outstanding buy. So hurry in. Take advantage of these prices.
Absolutely. Jason, with all the fall savings at Lee's Furniture, Floors, and More at 459 Overland in Burley. Stand back away from the door because here they come, Jason. Thank you much.
Thanks, Ed.
God bless. Thank you so much. Really, really good folks. The best in furniture, the best in carpet, the best of everything for the beautification of your home. Lee's Furniture, Floors, and More. I want to remind you, too, about our friends at Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation at 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley. Nick Greenwell, the physical therapist, and all the staff, they are excellent. Friendly staff, comprehensive services. They know know sports medicine. They know all the exercises. They've got the pool for the hydrotherapy. And I'm telling you, from my own personal knowledge and experience, they really, really care about getting you back to being you. So please give them a call at 678-1191. That number again, 678-1191. The best, working to help you feel better. Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation, 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley. Really, really good folks. Gina, could we please have the good word for HJR2?
Vote yes November 4th for HJR2, a constitutional amendment to keep the power of Idaho governance with the people. Vote yes on HJR2 to limit executive power over you and your business. Vote yes on HJR2 to keep your legislators working for your needs, not special interest groups. Vote yes on HJR2 to preserve the voice of we the people for the state of Idaho. Vote yes on HJR2. Paid for by Representative Fred Wood, House Speaker Scott Bedke, and Senator Dean Cameron. Vote yes on HJR2.
Thank you very much, and don't forget, Representative Scott Bedke, Speaker of the House District 27, urges you to vote in the midterm election on November 4th. Yes, Scott is very concerned for Idaho and its growth and prosperity, and very concerned about the future of the United States of America, and he urges you to exercise your patriotic duty and vote on November 4th. And vote yes for the constitutional amendment, HJR2, paid for by Representative Speaker of the House, Scott Bedke of Oakley, District 27. Holy cow, we got to run right now and get over to School Days in Cassia County. And the lovely Debbie Critchfield is going to be on the air with us in just a moment. School Days in Cassia County brought to everybody by A Child's World at 1308 Overland in Burley. They're having their 11th annual October treat sale with special discounts, 25% discount on toys and books and family games and puzzles. And they've got everything for the newborn baby. Oh my goodness, stop in to a family store, A Child's World, 1308 Overland in Burley. And also brought to you by our folks at Ambulatory Surgery Center. Yes, at 1344 Highland Avenue in Burley. If you need a life-saving colonoscopy, that is the place to go. Please call and get more information. Very, very important. 677-8888. 677-8888. Hand pain, knee pain, cataract surgery, please call the Ambulatory Surgery Center, 1344 Highland Avenue in Burley, 677-8888. I know I'm running a little bit long, but I think Debbie's going to understand it's political season. Good morning, Debbie Critchfield, Cassia County School Days. How are you?
Good morning. I am well, and I completely understand, and these are important issues.
Well, I know there's another important issue coming up, and that is a possible bond issue for Cassia County. Tell us a little bit about it.
Well, I'm going to give you just a smidge of history. At the end of March, at the school board meeting, at that March meeting, we had some patrons come to the board from Malta and Oakley and asked that the board revisit the whole bond scenario. You know, we've got 3 cell bonds under our belt, and some of those folks had been communicating with each other and said, you know, we still have needs and there's still some issues more pressing than they were even 7-8 years ago. And the board was ready to listen and decided that the first step was to get a committee together that had folks in it from around the whole county, all of our school attendance zones, and that committee was formed in April. And so for the last 6 months, these good people have been working pretty hard, and they've been studying and touring and asking questions and getting information, and they presented their recommendations to the board on Tuesday night.
All right, now, Debbie, this is pretty critical, isn't it, as far as, now correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it said that you're looking for about $35.5 million for a construction bond issue, but there's a lot of schools that are really suffering with some maintenance equipment that's breaking down, bad environment, etc. This is pretty necessary, isn't it?
It is, and it's about $9 million less than the previous bonds that were presented for approval by the community. And a couple of those reasons are the school district has been able to make some small accommodations that, you know, maybe took care of some other things. And one of the big reasons that it is less is this committee came together, and everyone, I think, from their areas, they started off with, this is what needs to happen in my area. And we had people that had not ever really been out to the Malta schools or maybe hadn't been to Ducklow or Burley. And as the group toured as a group, this really amazing dynamic took place, which was there was a great understanding of, so this is why this. And so as they came together and, spend several months going over things and having subcommittees within the communities, we were able to look and say, yes, we have this wish list, so to speak, but what are our most critical needs, number one? Number two, what can the community support that is reasonable? And, and the third thing is we want to have an eye on the future. And I'll just share this with you. White Pine Elementary, it houses grades 4 through 6. Without any growth whatsoever in the next 3 years, that school will become the largest school with over 900 children. And it was built for a population of 600 kids. And our other two elementary schools in Burley are also 250 to 300 students over what they were built for. And, we talk about wanting growth in our area, and we want to attract businesses, and we want to have schools that attract people to come and live. And we need to, have our eye on the future.
Debbie, what about informational meetings and possibly even videos or a breakdown of the costs or what it's going to take for each individual taxpayer to come up with? I mean, are all these things available through the Cassia County school system?
They will be, and the reason they're not right this minute is that when the committee made their recommendation to the board didn't make any decision. They didn't say, yes, we love this, we're doing it. And they also didn't say, we hate it, we're not doing it. They need to do their homework at this point. So it was a presentation from our committee folks, which incidentally is nearly 36 people served on this committee. And it wasn't just people who say, I'll vote for anything, I don't care what the increase in taxes is, I'll do it. We had people on that end of the spectrum too. We had some folks that said, I have never voted for a bond. And it's going to take a lot of convincing for me to see why that's important. So we had a great variety. And now that it's been presented to the board, they need to now go to the school. They need to also have the same conversations that our committee members had. And if the two sides come together and they agree that the committee's recommendations are valid and are worth moving forward on, at that point we will get, like you say, the videos. That's one thing, we want people to know and, have you seen what we're talking about? That's an important thing. We're not just talking about things in the abstract and where we hope people have faith in us. We want them to take the journey and have all the information they need to make a good decision, should we get to that point.
Let me ask you this. Is there an ETA that you want to tell the people that you're shooting for as far as having the information ready to go for the general public?
Right now on what people can look, if they go to our website, cassiaschools.org, under the Family Resources tab, and they'll be able to find it. They can go through, it's an 8-slide little PDF file that they can see exactly what the recommendations are, how much it's going to cost the total, who is on the committee, what the process entails for right now. And then we will start adding some of this other information that you're talking about on there, so that, again, people, we're not just talking about things and hoping people catch on. We want to make sure everyone's informed.
Absolutely. Now, what about telephone numbers if they have questions or if they say, well, I saw this at that school, I'd like to talk to somebody? How do people open up a line of communication so they can get some of their concerns and their questions answered?
I'm always happy to take phone calls. 878-62600 is the school district office number, the central office. There's actually a place on the website where people can leave comments, ask questions, that sort of thing. We really are very, very serious and dedicated to making sure that people in the community understand the process. And when they see who is on the committee, go and ask. I guarantee that everybody knows somebody on that committee. And as they go and, I know that guy, go and talk to the people that were on the committee. Ask them, well, why did you decide to do this? And how come we decided on a 20-year bond instead of a pay-as-you-go system? And all of these conversations took place, and we want folks to be involved.
Absolutely excellent. Debbie, again, accept my apologies for being a few minutes late getting you on the air this morning, but we've been very, very busy, but I appreciate all your information about the possibility of seeking another bond for construction in Cassia County schools. Anything else on your list of things that you want to put out in front of the public? I've got 1 minute left.
Go to the website, cassiaschools.org, and leave your feedback and see what we have there as far as the recommendations.
All right, Debbie Critchfield, Cassia County Schools Communication Officer, thank you for coming on the program this morning. Appreciate it a bunch.
Thank you.
Thank you. Nice lady, Debbie Critchfield with Cassia County School System, and we appreciate all of her effort. Okay, now we got to pay some bills here real quick, and I want to remind you, too, that our Senator from District 25, Jim Patrick, local farmer for over 40 years, wants to say thank you. Thank you to everybody that supported him as Senator from District 25. He appreciates the support, and he urges you to get out and vote next Tuesday, November 4th, and let your voice be heard. Jim has always had a deep understanding of water issues due to the fact that he's farmed on the Salmon Tract for many, many years. Vice Chair of the Commerce and Human Resources Board, Agricultural Affairs Committee, and Education Committee, and he appreciates everything he does for you, his constituents in District 25. Jim Patrick, Senator for District 25, paid for by Jim Patrick. We got to look up there at the clock on the wall, and we also want to say to our friends at Lennox, they've got the home comfort systems, and they're through Ramsey Heating and Electric offering rebates on qualified Lennox home comfort systems, gas furnaces, air conditioners, heat pumps, etc. All you have to do is call and ask questions at Ramsey Heating and Electric, 678-0459, where they provide warm winters and cool summers. Ramsey Heating and Electric and Lennox. Thank you very much. Gina, could we please have this good word for Representative Steve Hartkin?
From City of Rocks to the Twin Falls County Fair, this Magic Valley of ours offers tremendous opportunity for Idaho citizens, but we have to work to keep it that way. Low taxes, limited government, responsible financial management. I'm Stephen Hartkin, Idaho House Republican, and I'm proud to represent your Idaho Republican values. I'm running for re-election this fall and ask for your vote on November 4th. I'm House Republican Stephen Hartkin, and I approve this message.
Thank you very much, Steve. And, boy, I tell you, it has been a busy, busy time. Poor Gina is going to the doctor tomorrow morning to have the calluses removed and the soreness from the ends of her fingertips from hitting all the buttons over there. Well, I've got another one for you to hit right now. How about the ad for HJR2, if you would, please?
Vote yes November 4th for HJR2, a constitutional amendment to keep the power of Idaho governance with the people. Vote yes on HJR2 to limit executive power over you and your business. Vote yes on HJR2 to keep your legislators working for your needs, not special interest groups. Vote yes on HJR2 to preserve the voice of we the people for the state of Idaho. Vote yes on HJR2. Paid for by Representative Fred Wood, House Speaker Scott Bedke, and Senator Dean Cameron. Vote yes on HJR2.
Got to ask you, Gina Kennedy, is you all ready to go trick-or-treating? And are you, as a parent, do you worry about trick-or-treating?
Well, first and foremost, yes, Kennedy is very ready to go trick-or-treating. We started carving pumpkins last night.
Oh,
and,
boy.
Yes, we did. And he's already got his costume all picked out. Now, am I worried about him trick-or-treating? No, not at this point, because I go with him.
There you go. Wonder Woman goes with him.
Yes, Wonder Woman does go with him. When he gets to the age where he wants to go out with a group of friends, yes, probably then I will be worried, but I'm the type of mom that will probably travel a block behind in my car.
There you go. I like that. What's he dressing up as, by the way?
A ninja.
Oh, yeah, you told me that, a ninja. You know, I was listening to some reports earlier this morning out of New York with Fox News and some other outlets, and they are really, really urging parents, and I think this is, and I don't want to belittle any problem that might happen in rural areas or anything, but I think the message about be very aware about where your kids go, what they receive, maybe check it out at home when you get it.
Yes.
More so now than ever before, we need to be cognizant of what's going on a day like Halloween.
And truly we do. You know, I take him to places where I know that he's going to be safe, and it is a safe environment. You know, like this Friday they're going to have a trunk or treat for all of the kids at the Rupert Square from 5 until 7 in the evening. So he's going to go do that. And then we have this planned route that we do every year around the couple of blocks around the house. And then there's 2 friends' houses that we go to every year. And so I highly structure where he goes. I know exactly which houses we're going to. I know the people. If not, they know who I am. And yes, I do go through his candy bucket, you know, and see what he's got. And if there's something in there that I don't believe is going to be safe for him, it gets cut.
Hey, let me ask you real quick. Are the kids, and I've been away from this for a long, long time, real fast answer, are the kids still giving out all the Halloween cards like they used to?
No, actually they don't.
They don't do that anymore, huh? Oh, that used to be a big deal in grade school when I was in school. We used to have like a box of those 50 Halloween cards, and then we'd send them to so-and-so and say Happy Halloween. They don't do that. I'm surprised.
Well, at least not at his school. They might at other schools. I know they do that at the daycares.
Oh, do they?
But at his particular school, no, they don't. But they do have a Halloween party. And then usually they save the cards for Christmas and then for, of course, Valentine's Day.
Okay. May we please have a quick word for Secretary of State Lawrence Denny, and then I'll send it over to you.
Okay, give me like 5 seconds here.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Idaho's right to vote is critical. We need a steady hand to guarantee that right against pressures from the federal government. Lawrence Denny is that steady hand. His hand served our nation in Vietnam. His hand tilled the soil in rural Idaho and made crucial decisions as Speaker in the Idaho legislature. Lawrence Denny knows our values. He can carry on the tradition as Secretary of State. Protect your right to vote with experienced hands. Vote Denny for Idaho Secretary of State.
Hey, Denny for Idaho, Rick Howard, Treasurer.
There you go. We're going to send it over to our main studios right now and have this following break, and we'll be right back on Zeb at the Ranch. Don't you go away.
And now back to Zeb at the Ranch on AM 1230 KBAR. To reach Zeb, call 436-2244 or toll free 1-866-927-4587. And now, here is Zeb Bell.
Oh my, what a busy, busy day. As we draw closer to Election Day, I want to remind you again, Lee Hyder, what a good man. I really enjoy Lee coming on our program and everything. Lee Hyder, Senator for District 24, has been very, very busy up at the state legislative sessions, and of course he is running unopposed on November 4th, and he urges everybody to get out and vote on next Tuesday, November 4th. He's the chairman of the Health and Welfare and on the Resource and Environment Committee. This man has really appreciated serving you, and he thanks you for your vote and all your support. Vote November 4th. Lee Hyder, Senator for District 24, paid for by Lee Hyder for State Senate District 24. Gina's going to probably get all upset at me, but I can't help it. May we please have this good word for HJR2?
Vote yes November 4th for HJR2, a constitutional amendment to keep the power of Idaho governance with the people. Vote yes on HJR2 to limit executive power over you and your business. Vote yes on HJR2 to keep your legislators working for your needs, not special interest groups. Vote yes on HJR2 to preserve the voice of we the people for the state of Idaho. Vote yes on HJR2. Paid for by Representative Fred Wood, House Speaker Scott Bedke, and Senator Dean Cameron. Vote yes on HJR2.
You know, we were talking about Halloween earlier, and we got just a few minutes here, and I'm just curious, Gina, when you were growing up in Elk River, and hopefully Kennedy's not listening so that if you say something that might incriminate yourself, were you more inclined to do the treating or perhaps the tricking?
The treating.
Oh,
Not
really?
to say that we didn't do some tricks, but Elk River, everybody knew everybody, and pretty much everybody was related to everybody. So if anything happened in town, everybody knew it in about 5 minutes.
Yeah, but didn't you go out of town to perhaps an arch rival and cause just a little smidgen of chaos? You didn't?
The closest town to us was 17 miles away.
Oh.
So no, we just didn't do that.
Well, I don't want to say too much on the radio and give these kids any ideas today, but I'll say this, we were very inventive with some of our tricks. And Jefferson, our arch rival from Fort Atkinson, is only 5 miles away. A hop, skip, and a jump that one could bail into a car and be over there in no time at all and cause a lot of concern for our arch rival.
That happened a lot in 2 other towns that were close to ours, but still even farther away from Elk River.
Really?
Deary and Troy. Deary and Troy were famous for the antics that they would pull.
And what were some of those antics at Halloween?
Toilet papering and defacing the football fields and things like that, yeah.
Well, we did some things that, looking back now as an adult, if my kids or my grandkids would do those, I would probably alienate them from the will. We were little devils back then with our arch rival Jefferson. We didn't like them, and quite frankly, they didn't like us very much.
Well, that's the whole point of the rivalry, right?
Yeah, but Halloween had a special meaning. And
we never did anything like, these flaming bags of you-know-what on the porch.
Oh, what were in those bags, by the way?
I'm not saying. It happens to come out of the rear end of a dog.
I see.
And your toilet papering and things like that. That was common, but in Elk River, we couldn't get away with things like that. We just couldn't.
Well, we had
Our parents would find out, like, in 3 minutes.
Well, just little things. We had this one guy, I'll just use his first name, Alan. He was on the football team, and he didn't like a guy that had really turned him into a piece of the grass during the football game season. And so he went out and hooked onto his boat and took his boat to the state capitol and put it up on the state capitol lawn.
Really?
Yeah, little things like that.
Just a little thing.
Yeah, he didn't steal it. He just took it up there for everybody to observe it.
Yeah, he took it out for a display.
Yeah. Do I have a call?
You do.
I take it. Okay. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
They just hung up. Maybe it was a butt dial.
What was that? It sounded like a swarm of bees.
It sounded like somebody just butt dialed. Seriously, they had their phone in their pocket or maybe their purse.
Oh, well,
that happens quite often.
The other thing that we did, I know we did a lot of things that were halfway fun and that type of thing, but we also, our mothers always used to get together when we were in grade school, and they'd make the orange-flavored frosting cupcakes and all they look like little jack-o'-lantern cookies. Did you do that? Evidently not, because she left. Okay. Well,
okay, we've got a phone call for you.
All right, we'll take that call. Good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning. I just don't have anything to do with what you're talking about, but this morning in the paper it said that, I thought Al, the guy that's running against Otter for governor, that somebody has put a lot of ads on the TV that are false. And I wondered if you knew anything about that.
Well, it was a big story on the front page of our illustrious Times News newspaper, and what they're trying to do is tie Frank Vandersloot with his company up in Idaho Falls, and I said the words trying to tie him in with some ads that are anti-Belukoff ads that have appeared on various radio stations, primarily up in eastern Idaho, up in the Idaho Falls area. And some of the verbiage in the ads, I'll just read some of the verbiage to you. It says, it's time that Idaho had a Democrat as governor, a man who has the courage to profoundly and proudly stand up for gay marriage, a man who will protect wolves in Idaho who cannot speak for themselves. It's time to repeal the Balanced Budget Amendment and Idaho's Tax Relief Act so that we can implement all the great programs that A.J. Belukoff knows we need. In other words, they're kind of tongue-in-cheek ads showing the weaknesses of Mr. Belukoff.
So is that right that he's for gay marriages?
He has voiced that he will go along with it, and he's also said some things in regards to the wolf problem that I can't go along with, and he has said that he is one of those Democrats that loves tax and spend to garner more money, and I think some of the statements that were made in these ads, I'm not going to say that they were off base. I think they were pretty close.
Okay.
All right.
My main thing was the gay marriage. That was my decision thing right there. So
let me ask you a question real quick. Don't hang up. I got a question for you. In regards to the gay marriage, I am absolutely adamant that it's the wrong thing to do, and I'm going to tell you what I think, and then I want to hear what you have to think. I think that this gay marriage initiative all across the United States is nothing more than forced acceptance of principles that Christians like you and I do not believe in, and we're asked to keep our mouths shut and go along with it, and I will never. What are your thoughts?
Well, my thoughts are, I think it's totally wrong. You know, if you believe in the Bible, it's totally wrong. I do, however, have a niece on one side of the family and a nephew on the other side that have made those choices, and they know we don't condone them, but we still love them. And I'm glad that Governor Otter is still fighting against that.
I agree. I agree.
That was my big decision right there.
Thank you very, very much for your call this morning. I appreciate it. God bless you. I think I heard the moo of the cow. Gina, do we have another call?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'll tell you what, ask the caller the patience of staying on the line, because I do have to get a couple of quick commercials in or I'll never make it finished. Okay, stand by, please. Once again, I want to remind everybody about Jim Patrick, a great, great senator from the state of Idaho, District 25, local farmer for over 40 years. As a matter of fact, he's been out on the salmon tract, and when it comes to water issues, believe me, Jim Patrick understands water issues. He's been the vice chair of the Commerce and Human Resources Committee, on the Agricultural Affairs Committee, and also on the Education Committee. He has a deep understanding of what's going on in the state of Idaho. Remember, Senator from District 25, Jim Patrick, paid for Jim Patrick for Senate, District 25. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Zeb, I'm just calling. Well, I know you're going to cover this well, but when I hear about another school bond coming up, I just see red. You know, we just got that one passed last year, finally. It was declined, 2 or 3 times, and they kept pushing it, and that was going to solve it, and here we are. I don't even see a complete year after that, and here another $35.5 million. I don't know what they did with the other $35 million. And it seems like in this county, the schools never get enough money. I've had kids banging on my door, selling candy bars for the schools, doing this for the schools. When do they ever get enough?
I'll tell you what I'm going to do.
But not that.
I'll tell you what I'm going to do, caller, and I think you'll understand my hesitancy to be too critical on this issue until we get all the facts, the figures, and what they plan on doing. I think right now it's all speculation. I think right now a lot of it is just searching out information, and I'm keeping all the information I had from Debbie this morning, and also the newspaper articles that were there talking about this $35.5 million construction bond issue. I will stay on top of it. I promise you I will get all the facts and figures, and we're going to do multiple programs on this. But for me to comment negative or positive right now, I don't think I can, because I don't have enough information.
Okay, stay on it, Zeb.
I will, I promise, sir. Thank you very much. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Hello.
Yes, good morning.
I would like to just give my opinion a little bit. That caller I just called, I want to say amen to him. I've never seen a building educate a kid. And these guys are forcing this stuff on us all the time, and we've got people in our district that are just stupid enough to vote yes.
Let me ask you,
We've got to figure out some way, because they're taxing us to death as it is, and they don't do a dang thing with it. If they put some water up there to Raft River High School so they'd have good water, I might vote for something, but nobody wants to talk about that. They only want to talk about buildings.
That's about all I have to say.
All right, sir. Well, I appreciate your opinion, and I'll talk more about what you just said on the air this morning, and I appreciate that. There was a story this morning, and unfortunately I do not have it right here at my desk in regards to the water issues up there at Raft River High School and the school system and the community itself. And I'm going to go back to what I said a moment ago. I am not going to pass any judgment on anything until I get all the facts and the figures and find out. And I don't blame the people at all for being upset and concerned, because right now money is very hard to come by. Right now, anything that's going to be more of a taxation problem to families is extremely difficult to live with. And all I'm going to say again is let's wait till we get all the facts and the figures and the numbers. I will invite both sides of the issue, as I have in the past on any issue, onto this program, and we'll discuss it in its entirety. If I don't like it, I don't like something about it, I will be sure and be honest and say that. But I'm going to wait till I get everything handed to me as far as the study is concerned. And I know you'll probably appreciate that approach more than just jumping in and condemning it or possibly being for it, okay? Thank you very much. Oh, my goodness, I got to get this word on right now for Representative Steve Hartkin. Gina, if you would, please.
From City of Rocks to the Twin Falls County Fair, this Magic Valley of ours offers tremendous opportunity for Idaho citizens, but we have to work to keep it that way. Low taxes, limited government, responsible financial management. I'm Stephen Hartkin, Idaho House Republican, and I'm proud to represent your Idaho Republican values. I'm running for re-election this fall and ask for your vote on November 4th. I'm House Republican Stephen Hartkin, and I approve this message.
Thank you, Steve. And right now it's time for the weather real quick with MichaelRogersWeather.com. I am busy over here right now like a one-armed paper hanger. When the weather is brought to you this hour by Scarrows Meats, 331 North Road, Jerome, 324-7657. Locally owned custom meat processor for over 20 years. They do sell taste, one bite at a time. It is delicious. Scarrows Meats in Jerome. Here now, Michael Rogers Weather.
Yeah, hello everyone, Michael Rogers at the ranch. Today's going to be a lot better than yesterday. Tonight's going to be a lot better than last night. Tomorrow's going to be better than today. When it comes to the weather, that is. Sunny today, partly cloudy tonight, sunny tomorrow. 68 for the high for both days. Overnight lows will be in the 40s. I'm going to just do this real quick here because I've been keeping tabs on it, and it's been back and forth for about the last day and a half. I'm calling for snow on Saturday night going into Sunday. Yes, I am. It'll start out as rain, turn into snow, and then it'll warm back up into rain going into Sunday. So look for your temperatures to support both of those. So there is the entire weekend forecast. Enjoy the weather. Still the weather you got.
How does a smoked ham or smoked turkey sound for Thanksgiving? Well, order yours right now at Scarrows Meats. Tell them Zeb sent you. Call the number 324-7657. Scarrows Meats, 331 North Road, Jerome, selling taste one bite at a time. Excellent people at Scarrows Meats. Wow. I've got time for one or two more calls, and I'm going to leave a little bit early because I've got to get to lunch bunch. And we'll take this quick call. Good morning. You're on the air.
Zeb, have a good day. Appreciate you. Hey, the lady that called concerning Volkov, I don't know whether Volkov is for or against gay marriage, but I do know he was extremely critical of Otter for Otter wanting to continue the fight against gay marriage.
I know that's true.
With the Supreme Court.
You know, that really is true, and, I don't see, and I'm glad you called, Bert, real quick, I don't see anything wrong with these anti-ads, these kind of tongue-in-cheek ads. What are your thoughts about, I really don't care who paid for them. I mean, I think people have the right to put on what they want to as long as it's paid for in a legal fashion. What are your thoughts?
Well, and those ads, right or wrong, he's made comments that he thought they wasted a lot of money for fighting the wolf issue for taxpayer money.
That's right.
There's whatever you say, somebody's going to keep a record of it, and you're going to live with it. You and I both know that.
Amen to that.
And the nicest thing about Tuesday the 4th is that I won't have to listen to any more negative ads I hope for another 2 years. But
Amen.
Before then.
Amen. God bless you.
Both sides. Both sides.
Amen. Both sides. And I personally, it's good for us in the radio business because it does stimulate the economy for us and everything. But I'm going to be very honest with you. Come Tuesday of next week, I'm going to sit back, get back into the general grind of my talk show, and I'm not going to have all these ads to make sure I get 100 and some ads on for a 3-hour program, and I'm going to relax. God bless you, Bert Stevenson. Thanks for calling.
Zeb, one other thing. Tell people to be sure and vote for H.R. 2 because it does take some of the authority away from agencies. I've seen what's going to happen if we ever lose the right for the legislature to review rules and regulations.
Absolutely. It could be just like what Obama's doing with a pen and a phone, and we don't want that to happen.
Right. Thanks, Zeb. You do a good job.
God bless you, man. Thank you very much. Just one of my dearest friends, Bert Stevenson, right there. Real quick, a tire sale going on at your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. All 7 locations. All the tires are on sale. All the different tread designs. I'm telling you, for your car, pickup, SUV, horse trailer, whatever you need tires for, stop in and see them today. And they've got the best tire value promise in the industry. Don't forget, too, they've got the best in brake service, the very best in front-end alignment, shocks and struts, everything, including batteries. And with the weather turning colder, make sure your car is going to start. Check it out today with Lane and Rupert, Dave on Blue Lakes and Twin, Mike and Buell, Mike and Jerome, the Twist family and Paul, John on Poline and Twin Falls, and Randy on Overland and Burley. Your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. Caller, I got 1 minute, real fast.
Yeah, Zeb, I just want to back you up on that, everybody getting out and voting, because it's the only way that our government's going to have any chance of making progress against the pen and the phone of the executive office. And, of course, he can veto constitutionally, but with a strong Congress, they can override his veto. And I think that's the only chance we have of getting back to the government that's not of the president, by the president, for the president.
Amen, and very well stated. Sir, God bless you. And next Monday, the day before the election, call us again. I'd like to visit with you when I have more time. Thank you so much.
Okay, Zeb, thank you.
Thank you. Folks, I got to take off just a few minutes early because I have to get down to Denny's restaurant for the Zeb's Lunch Bunch. It's the big Halloween party at noon today, actually starting at 11:30. And I want to say thanks to Gina for filling in for me for a few extra moments. And then we'll see her at the Halloween party at Denny's. God bless you all. Tune in next week on Monday at 8:06. Zeb at the Ranch. The way things were, the way things ought to be. We'll see you then.